Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, for joining us today on another crazy, wild, downhill edition of Crime and Sports. We have some fun 90s basketball stuff for you today.
Fuck, I love it.
Those are our favorites, obviously, when we get to do any of the 90s football or basketball or anything like that. But, this is so much fun. We have just an idiot here. Another one of these, it's just like a Vernon Maxwell situation where if you looked at his Wikipedia, you'd think, what a good guy.
Uh-oh.
No, the NBA, if you're any part of their universe, later on, they will scrub your Wikipedia clean, squeaky clean. Vernon Maxwell had 40 arrests, and on his Wikipedia page, it was like, works with children, does wonderful things, and no mention of all these things. So we'll get into all that and more. We'll tell you who it is in a minute here. But first off, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows for Small Town Murder. Also, merch is there and everything like that. Durham, North Carolina, May 31st. You're up next. Next live show. Nashville sold out the next night, so get those last few tickets in Durham. Let's pack that place and have a good time. We can't wait for that. And shutupandgivememurder.com. You definitely also, you should listen to our other two podcasts if you don't already.
Please do.
Definitely listen to Your Stupid Opinions. It's funniest hour in podcasting. I'm sorry. It's nonstop barrage of funny. It's good shit. And then Small Town Murder. God damn it, is Small Town Murder good? If you don't listen to that, you should check it out. I mean, I've heard. I don't know. This is what people say.
I'm told,
It's what I'm told. So do that. Also, get Patreon. You want more stuff? We got more stuff. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all of the bonus material.
You bet.
Anybody $5 a month or above, you get it all. A cup of coffee will get you hundreds of back episodes of bonus stuff immediately. Yeah. New ones every other week, including this week. We got some fun stuff for you this week, too. It's a banner week. This week for Crime and Sports, we are going to talk about the OJ trial, okay? Not the OJ's life, because we've talked about that on the episode. We talked about his son. But we're going to talk about how the fuck, because people are still perplexed. How the fuck was he not convicted?
How'd he do it?
Well, I've watched the whole trial. It's like 495 parts on YouTube. I shit you not. And I'll tell you exactly what happened, because you had to, the prosecution did an awful job, and we'll talk about it, and that's why. Just a terrible... They should be ashamed of themselves. They should have both moved into a fucking cave when they were done, Darden and Marsha Clark, because they were awful.
Up to and including appearance, and everything was calculated.
Both of them seem like they'd never prosecuted anything before. It looked like they couldn't have convicted him of a fucking traffic ticket. They were fucking terrible. So we'll talk all about the whole thing and how it all fell apart, and it's pretty fun. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to have a creepy one. We're going to go, because everybody's told the story, but we're going to go in detail deep inside Ed Gein's house. Let's talk about what's in there.
All the stuff that they found. Yikes.
Let's detail all of Ed Gein's house and how Ed Gein lived, and just to give you a picture of a day in the life of Ed Gein. Let's do that. It'll be a lot of fun. That's Patreon.com/Where
we read Ed Gein's diary.
Oh, it's so weird. So that said, let's get to it. Let's do it with the asshole of the week here. By the way, his middle name, this guy, also not mentioned on Wikipedia.
Really?
Which I think maybe he didn't want it on there because it's pretty funny. It's Dale Ellis, first of all, the NBA player, and the guy who I constantly would mix up with Dale Davis on the Pacers. All through, even during those times, I was like, Dale Davis, Dale Ellis. I thought they were the same guy in my head for some reason.
He went from flat top to bald at one point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
That's a tough transition.
He had a great flat top, a real nice one.
Yeah, that's a tough transition.
It fit his face. Then when it was gone, it's like, oh, who's that bad man?
You got to a point in the 90s where you just couldn't do the flat top anymore. It wasn't cool anymore, and people were like, dude.
Fucking way bald.
Hey, kid and play. What are we doing here? It just got silly after a while. So his full name, Dale Monique Ellis. His middle name is Monique. Monique. Damn. We're just calling him Monique for the rest of the episode, right? Monique Ellis over here. His name, Dale's the most masculine name you can get. I'm Dale. How you doing? And then Monique.
Why did they do that?
Monique sounds like you have like big long nails and lots of jewelry. Like it sounds that's a woman, Monique.
Is it a grandma? What happened?
We're naming you after your grandma, young man. Why the fuck is my middle name Monique?
Was Big Mama real special to him? What happened?
Imagine like in school, like elementary school, they got a substitute teacher. Dale Monique. Don't say it. Don't say my middle name. I'll get the shit beaten out of me for the next 2 weeks, please. Fuck.
I am Monique. Jimmie Stephanie Whisman. Welcome.
Yeah, that is amazing. Monique. I'm James Catherine Pietragallo. Nice to meet you. Monique is the greatest thing ever. Monique.
It hurts. It's so fucked up.
I've heard.
How do you look at a baby and go, "That is Dale Monique"?
Especially one that's going to grow up to be Dale Ellis. You know what I mean? And be like,
yeah.
If you don't know, if you've never seen him, Dale Ellis is a very tall black guy. Like you wouldn't think Monique.
6'8" or so, right?
I think 6. We'll find out here, but
he's big.
He's big. He's a small forward. 6'7", 205. Monique. Walk up to a man who's 6'7", over 200 pounds, and go, "What's up, Monique?" You never would do it. He got to full size and then beat the shit out of both of his parents for that.
Fuck yes.
Fuck you naming me Monique for?
He's gonna beat the fuck out of both of us for this. We're telling everybody.
Yeah, he's acting like he's a nice guy now. So he can't.
He thought he got it removed.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want because he fucking he's trying to be all nice now. So Monique, not on Wikipedia, like I said. You got to dig deep for Monique. But
that's so good.
Monique. He's got some nicknames also. Apparently, he's not the most exciting guy. Not exactly an electric personality here.
He seemed very dull and like a drip. Yeah.
His Sonics teammates nicknamed him Lamar Mundane, which is Lamar Monique Mundane. Show some respect. Put my middle name on it, motherfuckers.
They called him Mundane.
Mundane. And he's also been nicknamed the Silent Assassin by his teammates as well.
Yeah. I think the Spurs named him that, yeah?
Yeah, not a lot of personality going on there.
No,
I like Lamar Mundane better, though. Lamar Monique Mundane.
I can't picture a face he made other than fucking blank. You know what I mean? It was just, there was no personality in that man's face.
No, there's one, and it's funny because the only time I've seen it is in our Can't Get Enough at the end here.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him that's for sale where he's shooting a jump shot. In the jump shot, like his eyes are focused. He's like, with his mouth, like a big, like a kissy
Blue
face,
steel?
almost like, almost. No, like Jamie
Duck
Foxx
face.
in Living Color, doing.
What, he's dressed
what's
as a
it?
woman?
Like, when he do that with his lips, like that.
Yeah.
He's doing that while he's shooting. That's
hilarious.
That's what I see here. He played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 teams because he played. 6 because he played for a couple of them twice. Had to have him back. Needed
Did he go to
Dale
the
Ellis
Nets?
back. No, he played for the Mavs, the Sonics, the Bucks, the Spurs, the Nuggets, and the Hornets. And he played.
And then he went back to the Spurs, right?
He was with the Sonics and Bucks twice.
Oh.
So that was it. Yeah, he only played for the Spurs 92 to 94.
Wow, he went to the Nuggets after the Spurs, huh?
After the Spurs, yeah.
Wow.
So that was 94 to 97. He played for a fucking long time, too. He played for 17 years. He was out around forever here. We'll talk a little bit. His dad is a junior. So
really,
there's always a junior in the fray. He's not a Monique. That's why he said, no, son, we're not going to name him there. We're going to name him. Yeah. His father's name is John Henry Ellis. So he gets a manly name, John Henry Ellis Jr. And he's like, we'll name the boy Monique, so he never thinks he's going to take over my role in the household. What's that, Monique? He had some Freudian shit going on, I think, Dad.
I've heard a lot of black guys with like nice, like really, I don't know, I guess feminine-ish names, but I've never heard of a black man named Monique.
I was going to say, like, I've seen like Laverne as a middle name and shit like that.
Sure.
That's where it could go either way, and it's, whatever. Yeah. Monique is a fucking...
That's a very specific gal.
That's a very specific... We all see Monique in our heads, don't we?
Yeah.
I see nails. I just see I hear clicking, a lot of clicking. There's a lot of nails.
Don't you fucking touch her hair.
No, Monique, you can't touch Monique's hair. You're not allowed to. You stay away from Monique's hair. Monique will be cool with you.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
So his mother's name is Lucille, so it's not Monique. There's something. He's got a twin brother as well.
Okay. What? Really?
Named Daryl. So Daryl and Dale, I hope they gave him just as feminine a middle name, too, by the way.
Penelope.
That's something really, that's not even enough. That's not even enough, I don't think, Penelope. I think we got to go, what's more feminine than Penelope? Linda. Even that sounds kind of tough, you know what I mean? A Linda will punch you right in the face. A Linda waits tables at a biker bar, you know what I mean?
Is it Melinda then?
She's not taking, Brittany. Brittany's a girl. Brittany and Monique. Daryl, Brittany Ellis, and Dale Monique Ellis, I think, would be the twins.
That's fucking amazing.
That's great. He's got an older brother. You know what his older brother's name is? What? Here it is, Jimmy. This is when I was saying I've heard the feminine names and bubble. This is his older brother's name is Vivian.
Stop it.
Which is an old lady's name. That's not even like a fucking current. That's like a lady from the 30s is named Vivian.
Vivian. That's his first name?
That's his first name. Vivian Ellis.
Why did they do this?
Why not give him Vivian as a middle name at least, for Christ's sake?
Right.
And then
Vivian.
And then his two sisters, Chuck and Bert. No, his sisters' names are Stephanie and Nina.
He's got a Stephanie?
Yes, there is a Stephanie.
That's fucking great.
Nina. So these parents are all over the fucking place with these names.
They don't give a fuck. They've got a hat. They just pull names out.
Oh,
of it, man.
well, we didn't know. We didn't know at first whether we were having a boy or a girl, so they're all in the same fucking hat.
We let the rune stones pick it.
Yeah. And nowadays it's a little people don't really give a shit about the names, but he was born in 1960 in Marietta, Georgia.
With the name of Vivian?
Vivian and my brother Monique and my other brother fucking Brittany. And what are you talking about?
What is going on?
That's cold-blooded in 1960.
Truly.
You get beat up just for leaving the house with that shit.
In Georgia? Oh, my God.
And his wife, by the way, who later on, they're on and off, and we don't know if they're still married or not, but she went through some stuff. You know what her name is?
No.
Monique.
Get the fuck out of my life. Are you
Monique?
kidding? He married a Monique.
These are my parents, Monique and Monique.
Did he take her name as a middle name when they got married?
Her name is fucking Monique. How wild is that? I'm going to hyphenate. Dale Monique Ellis. Oh, shit, I did it wrong.
Oh, my God.
He'll end up having a daughter named Ashley. Mm-hmm. Good. There you go.
For no reason at all.
No reason at all. So his dad, I guess, was a Korean War veteran. It's 1960, yeah, so that makes sense. Dale and Daryl, the twins, raised on serious discipline.
Oh boy, that makes so much sense. His face is fucking blank.
It's blank, like you would be with a drill sergeant who will yell at you for having an emotion. So
indeed,
he grows up there. They didn't have a lot of money, but everything is fucking spotless clean.
Yeah,
and regimented, and none of this running around bullshit for you guys.
We don't have a lot, but what we got is paid for.
What we got is cleaned off, swept, and fucking paid for. It's been swabbed up and paid for. Don't worry about it.
Don't fuck it up.
Until junior high school, him and his brother just wore the same clothes because they're twins.
Together.
They just wore the same clothes, and then everybody said they had like the same temperament as well. Like they were very
both boring,
similar. Yeah, very low key in temperament. But then Dale shot up.
Really?
So, which is interesting. He got taller, and his twin brother didn't grow that much taller.
Oh shit!
And he got to be a good athlete. Daryl, they'd play 2-on-2. This is funny. Daryl and Dale would play 2-on-2. Against Vivian and somebody else. So I guess he would, even though Dale was bigger, his brother would, their game was go inside and then draw the defense and kick it out to Dale, and Dale takes a shot, which makes sense because Dale was a good three-point shooter.
That's the exact play he ran for 18 years.
That's it. He's the same one he did as his brother. So Daryl, the brother here, said as early as junior high school, no one ever thought he wouldn't make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
Me, I tried to get wise in other fields. He knew he wasn't 6'7" is what he knew. Yeah. That's a good hint that you're not making it. Yeah. You can look at yourself. Oh, I'm not as big as that guy.
Self-awareness is fucking amazing.
It is amazing. It's
beautiful.
Having a twin, having someone that close to you that is so much above you would, I think, help you with that too. Go, well, I can't do that. Fuck, that's not going to work.
You're reminded every single day, everywhere you go.
Yeah, Daryl was the hot-tempered one as they grew up too. He would skip practice and get into trouble and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. But Dale, on the other hand, none of that shit. He is Mr. Consistency. Yeah. They, I guess, qualified. They were so poor, the family, they qualified for welfare, but their parents wouldn't take it.
No.
So they still, even though they, even working, they didn't make enough so they could qualify, but they wouldn't take it. They were, proud people type of thing. Yeah, proud people. So proud they named their son Monique. That's proud. I'll put every obstacle in this boy's way and he'll still make it. That's how much confidence I have in them. So they lived in the projects, but everybody said, clean as a fucking floors waxed, furniture clean, perfect, vacuumed, everything nice. Fucking curtains bright white and clean, that sort of shit. They had to go to Sunday school, they had to go to church, and they had to do their homework. I mean, it was regimented here. There was a lot of this is what's right and this is what's wrong with his parents. There's a moral thing, and you don't do the wrong thing. Even if you're poor, you're going to be righteous. You know what I'm saying, and that type of shit here. So he, as a boy, I guess he said when he was young, which he wouldn't have been that young. I guess he would have been in his teens here. He watched Roots here in the miniseries Roots in his room with his mother, and he said, "I'm going to go to school, and ain't no one going to say nothing to me." That's what he said. And people went, okay. His mom just said, okay. It was just this emotional outburst after watching Roots. And she was like, that was weird. He never did that before. Just yelled, this is going to happen. So it was like, okay.
Meant a lot to him.
Meant a lot to him. Kids weren't allowed to hang out outside at night and do all that kind of shit. They had to stay in their apartment. No other kids were allowed to come over either. None of that shit. Family time. They play, all the other kids are outside running around. They're playing board games together as a family.
Really?
Yeah, that was the rules. And I feel like people are afraid of Dad here. I think Dad
Sounds like it.
It's military regimentation for Dad, so they don't fuck around with him. Or they watch TV together. That's how it goes. They went to, they had uniforms that their parents made them wear, even though they went to school.
Public school and didn't have a uniform.
No. White shoes, blue pants, white collared shirts. Creases in the pants, no mud on the shoes. Shirts had to be starched a certain way, too, every single day.
What?
That's how they went to school, because that's how their parents wanted them to look going to school.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that is
public
regimented.
School.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
The 70s, everybody's loose and all these clothes and these kids
bell bottoms, James.
Yeah, they look like it's 1953. Like that's
bell bottoms with a loose flowing button up shirt.
Yeah, with patches on them and shit.
Yeah.
Bell bottoms
with three, four buttons open.
Yeah, like peace signs and fucking black fist patches and shit. And he's like,
he's got
wearing
a white button
on.
up. Jesus.
He's not even khakis, blue pants, like a fucking dork. Like he's like Urkel.
Wow.
So
like he works at Culver's.
It's some sort of fast food uniform. So Vivian, the older brother, said the kids at school didn't care to see that stuff.
Like, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is.
It is. Some of the kids at school didn't care to see that stuff because some of them would be wearing the same clothes as yesterday. It made us look a bit uppity, as if we thought we were in the wrong place, meaning the projects. Mm-hmm. So like, oh, who the fuck you think you are? You're not dressing like shit. You guys think you're fucking at prep school.
You think you're rich?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Where do you think you are? He said, quote, we were poverty. We were destitute as anyone else, but we were respectful and destitute. We were not your regular individuals in the projects.
What are you, moving on up? Who are you?
That's what it is. Everyone's like, who, you think you're better than me? That's tough. So he said that this was hard on the father, is what Vivian said here. On September 22nd, 1969, John Henry Ellis Jr., Dad, was shot to death at age 42.
Oh, no.
Yes, apparently it was someone in the family, too. That's the fucked up part.
Did they know who?
Yeah. He knew the guy. Dad knew the guy. He was a distant in-law. So somebody on some sister's, somebody's in-law here. And they used to ride to work together for years. They'd worked at the Lockheed plant together, Lockheed Martin plant. They'd worked together. But Vivian said that the guy didn't like the family, the Ellises. And on that day, I guess they were at a restaurant in Marietta, and they got in an argument, and the man shot Dad in the back. John,
oh my God,
took the shot, turned around, pulled his gun out, and fired back at the guy and hit him.
Oh, wow.
And then the guy ended up shooting back at him. This is all in a restaurant.
Just a gunfight.
A gunfight in a fucking restaurant. Even in the Old West, they go outside. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Set up a time and a place for this shit. This is insane.
And then OK corralling in a fucking Perkins.
Just working it out in a Denny's. So they apparently, the guy shot again and shot John through the heart, and that was that.
Wow.
And Lucille said they argued, he shot him, he died. That's a succinct way to put it.
Sure is.
That's some way to. We buried him after that.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
We put him in the ground. We
done.
Had a service.
So the older children were very sad, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I guess all the kids were upset about this, obviously, about their dad dying at such a, especially
in front of them, right?
No. They were driving to work together. Or driving home together. The kids
I thought it was at a restaurant.
It was. They were stopped for food. The guy.
Oh, just the two of them. The families weren't there.
Yeah, they were driving back and forth to work. Yeah, no, families wasn't in front of the kids too. That would be horrible.
Thank God. Yeah.
Whole family. Vivian was just heartbroken. So he's kind of the sun rose and set with this guy in the house. So it's kind of what do you do then? One time, Mom discovered Vivian on his knees in the bathroom praying. And weeping, and just
asking for Dad to come home,
saying that he didn't have no one but himself anymore. That's what he said, because he was so close to his dad. Dale wasn't like that. He was nobody could tell.
Got no emotion.
He's like wallpaper. This guy, like they can't get a read on him. So he said that Dale and Daryl, the twins, stayed home when the family went to the hospital. They said they were too young. So they were 9 years old. So they said, you're too young to see your dad in this condition. So stay home. So they left him home. And that's that. Vivian, the older brother, said he can never recall Dale ever crying over this at all.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I can't recall him ever having an emotion.
That's what they said.
This may have done it.
The twins never really talked about. He was like that before and just plowed right through this like it never happened. That's just the way he was. The twins hardly ever talked about it after that. They just put it out of their head like it never happened. I guess the only thing that he left, too, because they were poor, he didn't leave a lot behind, and Lucille just is taking care of the kids, $737.20 is what he left her. That was his pay that he was back owed at the time. And she has 5 children at this point. Vivian's 12, Stephanie's 11, Nina's 10, and then the twins are the youngest.
120 each ought to get them to 18.
9, 10, 11, and 12. That'll do it.
Christ.
So she took jobs at a restaurant in the morning. She worked the breakfast shift there, then went to a chicken preparation company. She parts, and that is the grossest job that exists in America.
James, when chicken's done and prepared, it's gross.
Yes.
When it's ready to go, it's gross.
This is the grossest thing there is to do.
I can't imagine.
Fucking gut and part chickens. That's disgusting. Then would come home late and cook dinner and press the clothes for all the kids for school for the next day. And would basically just like fall asleep in her clothes on the couch because she was
That is a hell of a day.
That's a rough day, and with 5 kids. And by the time the kids were up, she was already at work again. She left breakfast on the stove for him and she would cook breakfast before leaving to go to the breakfast shift at a restaurant before she parts out chickens.
Oh, boy.
So they were hardly seeing their mother at all. But John's death brought in Social Security payments now.
Sure.
Because also he was in the Korean War, so there was death benefits to that. That allowed them to have enough money to move out of the projects.
Really?
Yeah. So this guy was worth more dead than alive, essentially.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that fucked up? That's fucked up.
Wow. If you die, we can get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah. If you work your balls off 12 hours a day to support your family, fuck you. You can sit there. But if you croak, then we can leave. Wow. So that's fucking amazing. So they ended up buying it. They moved into a house, and they apparently had enough money to keep buying new basketball sneakers when the kids would tear them up, because that's all they do. Vivian said, "You wonder what would have happened if he had lived. That might have been the break that we had to have. Now, that's a hell of a way to go through a break, but that's the way it was. Literally, if he lived, we would have stayed in the projects. Yeah. The fact that we got out of he died might have been the best thing that ever happened to the family." He just said, how fucked up is that? That's fucked up. Apparently, Dale, they said, every time, he would just internalize everything and go play basketball. That's what he would do.
Really?
He must have been letting it out there. He loved it. So, and later on, he told somebody, and this kind of makes sense too, a little bit about kind of the court's always the same. So that's, no matter what fucking fluctuates in the world, the rim's right there and it's 10 feet high.
Yeah.
And I know that shit for a fact.
That never changes. Yeah.
So that's a very...
And behind this line, 23.9 feet away is an extra point. Yeah.
And that is, back then it wasn't, but still ABA it was. But that's something that a kid would see as this place is a solid place that I can come to, and it's always the same. And the sands never shift under your feet here.
Right. And the rules are always the same. Everything's the same out here.
Every court in the world, the rules are the fucking same. A foul's a foul. This is that. Travel's a travel. So, and there he could kind of control. Everywhere else, as a kid, you have no control. In basketball, he felt like he could control himself, what he did and that sort of shit. He would actually spend lunch at school in the library reading.
Reading what? Just anything?
Studying, reading. That's... Yeah, he didn't go
smart.
fuck around in the cafeteria or anything like that. He never missed practice, was never late. His coaches all said never even one word of argument. Just, yes, sir, and he does what you tell him to do. That's it. Weird. He was among the first group of children to go through integrated schools in that area, too.
Is that right?
Yeah, which was a whole other can of worms.
That's not easy.
That's tough to do. His popularity at the school at Marietta High, they still know who he is because he was considered a social pioneer. He brought together black and white kids to hang out because
is that right?
They liked watching the basketball team, and then he would go to parties, and all the white kids liked him because he played great basketball, and he was cool and nice guy. And then the black kids were allowed to hang out because, Dale's not that bad. I guess he's okay. So he kind of helped kind of get these kids together who've never really been around each other. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Segregation was you're not really ever hanging out with black kids or white kids if you're the opposite. So that worked.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Yeah, they actually, at the high school, they wrote a song about Dale Ellis just before a state tournament.
Oh,
I don't have
Georgia.
I don't have the song
I'm
here.
I'm terrified to hear this song.
A song from there. Yeah, it would be more about like what he's not. It would be terrible. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Thank God he's light skinned.
Yeah. He never tries to have sex with white girls. No, he don't. He knows his place. Yes, he does. That would be like the song they would sing, probably. And that's considered a celebration.
Certainly his hue helped him tremendously in that way, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if he is Dale Davis, this ain't happening.
No. That's probably different. Yeah, if you're Dale Davis, this isn't going down at all.
6'10" and as dark as Dale Davis is, it's not happening.
No, they would have been less. I think it was about basketball too, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the weird thing. They watch somebody dunk and they're like, "That's great. I don't give a fuck what that guy is."
Did you see that? Who cares?
Amazing. Yeah, that's what you see. Like Billy Ray Bates when he went to the Philippines, they were like, "Yay! I don't even care. Just fucking look at him go." People love watching cool shit, but that definitely probably helped him.
I vaguely remember they tried to, I think, turn this into that he had some activism as a young man, but I don't think this is activism as much as it is just him being
himself.
Just go along to get along guy.
Yeah,
I don't know how it goes.
He's being himself, and people just like to be around him because he's good at basketball, and he's a nice guy.
They respond to it.
And he's a clean-cut guy. And also, he's one of those guys that even, if your coach was like an old school Southern or whatever, fucking just an old school racist guy, he would go, but he's one of the good ones. Look at him. He comes to school with the creased pants, and that's a representation. So I think there was a lot of that, too. He's always in the library with a book. Like he went against the stereotype, so that would help. His coach Charlie Hood. I hope he wasn't wearing a hood.
Yikes!
I hope that wasn't. Hope he didn't get that name after his chosen hat.
But he's famous, right, Charlie Hood?
I don't think so. He's a Marietta. No. It sounds
familiar. He's a Marietta High School coach?
Marietta High School.
Charlie Hood sounds familiar.
Charlie Hood. It's a cool name. Sounds like
might be a country singer.
It sounds like a rapper, like Charlie Hood. You know what I mean? Like a 1993 guy.
Like Brother Lynch.
I'm here with my man's Charlie Hood, and he's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, Charlie Hood in this bitch." Charlie Hood represent Marietta, motherfucker.
It's one way or the other, that's for sure.
So they wrote a song about him before a state tournament. Then the coaches sang it before him at a pep rally where sheets of the lyrics were sold for $1 each to help raise money for the trip to Macon for the state tournament.
Wow.
They had a pep rally where all the coaches got together and sang a song about one of the players. Holy shit. Wow. That is silver.
I went to high school with nobody sang shit about Mike Bibby. Not a word.
No, didn't give a fuck.
And he won the championship.
They sung songs about this man, this child. They were like, what rhymes with Monique? Fuck, that's hard. That's a tough one. What rhymes with Monique? God damn it. Unique, that's too close. It's the same thing. Oblique? No, that's not going to work. I don't know how to squeeze that into a song about a teenage basketball player. How do we do that? So Charlie Hood said people respect him because he always did the right thing. He didn't go to the wrong places and hang around with the wrong kids. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what you're saying, Charlie.
We know what you're saying, Charlie. I'd take any number of Dales on my next team, even if they can't play a lick. So he just loves his attitude. There. In a 1987 interview, he said, this is Dale, whenever I had problems, I'd go out on the court and shoot until I couldn't put it up there anymore. I'm the kind of person who holds everything inside. Goes out and plays, shuts the fuck up. Yep, that's... So he said that he would turn it into motivation on the court and concentration, and he would let all that shit fire him up. It was his own little boiler, you know? His own little boiler. He'd put some coal on there every once in a while and fire himself up here. He started in his sophomore year at Marietta and was all-state in his last 2 years.
Wow.
And was just, college scholarships coming out of his ass, like anywhere he wanted to go.
What was he playing in high school? Shooting guard or small forward?
I don't know in high school. Probably. He might have been a 4 in high school, maybe.
Yeah,
but later on, that's what happens a lot of times. If you're
He was playing 3 in the NBA.
3, yeah. He's always playing 3 in the NBA.
No, he didn't play 2?
I think, 6,
I'm
7,
sure. Probably 3 most of the time.
3 most of the time. Yeah. He'd be a good matchup, switch off.
Yeah.
If you want to go with a big
today,
lineup.
He'd be great.
Oh, today, the game's meant for him today.
Yep.
Meant for him. Guys like this, the guys that are 6'7" to 6'10" that can shoot the ball, NBA's fucking made for you today. No one's allowed to play defense on you. They're not allowed to touch you.
And you can take 4 steps.
No fuck, yeah. Take 4 steps. What do we say? Carry, travel, fucking 8 steps.
3-pointer.
Fucking 26-footer. And no one is okay. And no one will, tackle you out of the air either.
Yeah.
No one's going to take your legs out.
And the crowd cheers. Nobody says boo.
No one goes, you fucking dumb asshole. What are you doing?
You just turned it over, man. That's what we would say.
That was a stupid shot.
That's a turnover, you asshole.
Yeah. And the coach would probably pull him out on the next fucking the next time out. Go, what are you doing? Take a better shot, dummy. So he did all of this. He said that he wanted to use his whole life as fuel for basketball, he said.
Sure.
Yeah, he's going to go. He ends up in college. He sits on the bench in his freshman year, and he doesn't like that at all because he's got to get it out. Tennessee.
Really?
Tennessee. This is funny because last week, where did Travis Henry go?
Vols, yeah.
Fucking Vols. Not on purpose, by the way. We're not trying to pick on the Vols here, but again, they're putting out a good product. Let's say that. They're putting out a good crime and sports product. You're putting out good criminal athletes, Tennessee. Good job.
A good product that turns to a life of crime.
Yeah, ends up on this show.
Right.
So I'd like to find out what colleges have put the most crime and sports alums out.
Great chart.
Ohio State's got to be high up there.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be challenging it.
Sure, there's Florida schools that are up there high just based on
Florida
the
State.
odds of so many players playing there, not even based on Florida. So
Virginia.
We have some people out there that are sick enough to put that together and figure it out. That's the thing. That's what I love about our listeners. There is somebody who will have a chart in 3 days about this, and I salute you. Thank you.
Somebody will just look at every episode, find the player, and jot down their college and move on to the next one.
Enter it into an Excel sheet or some shit, and that's how they're doing it.
And then there's some that played for multiple colleges.
Yeah, then you got to add those in there, too. It gets confusing after a while. So 79-80, Tennessee Volunteers, they're 18-11. They go to the tournament, actually.
Really?
At 18-11. They win in the first round versus Furman, which, Mark Furman University is a little
just
weird.
Mark's kids.
Mark Furman University. All the players look very similar, put it that way. They're all...
A lot of white guys.
Yeah, and their coach is named Hood also, so it's very interesting.
Their coach is just a hood.
Coach David Duke out there in full regalia. Park Furman University.
Coach Grand Dragon.
Yeah, I'm not the coach. I'm the Grand Dragon. Don't call me coach. Call me Drag. So then they lose to Maryland, who's the number 2 seed the next time. So that's what happens here. That team, you got a couple of NBA players here. You have Reggie Johnson, who played in the NBA. You have Howard Wood, who I don't remember. I don't remember Howard Wood, but he played in the NBA.
I don't remember either of them. Yeah.
Reggie Johnson sounds familiar, but not Howard Wood. And then they had Gary Carter on the team, the Expos and Mets catcher, probably, I assume. Curly hair, playing for Tennessee. He was in the majors by then. So then they had Dale Ellis, and then a bunch of guys you've never heard of. Oh, you know who you have heard of on this list?
Who's that?
Though? Say a bunch of guys you've never heard of. One guy you have heard of, but certainly not for basketball. This year, as a junior, a 6'10" center named Kevin Nash played there.
Is that right?
Yeah, I knew he played for Tennessee. This is Kevin. He was fucking on the same team with Kevin Nash, the wrestler, in case you don't know.
How about that?
Yeah, Big Daddy Cool or all that shit in WWE.
Big Sexy.
And Big Sexy and NWO and all that kind of shit. Kevin Nash.
Great.
Ralph Parton is on the team. That's Dolly's son, I'm sure.
Dolly's kid, yeah.
Dolly's kid, he's playing there. We named him Ralph, and he's a hell of a player. Dale Ellis, by the way, before that was a high school parade All-American. Before that, when he came into here, so does that. He plays all 27 games in his freshman year, but only starts 6, so he's on the bench a lot. 21.2 minutes. That's half the fucking game in college. That's not bad. That's pretty good. He averages, let's see, what are his points? Where the hell did I put his? Well, there, 7.1 points per game. Okay. So, 3.6 rebounds. He's a freshman.
He's got time to mature.
80-81. They're 21-8, getting better.
Hey.
Getting better. They beat Virginia Commonwealth in the first round of the playoffs.
Is that a
VCU, I think, Virginia Commonwealth University.
Okay.
And then they lose to number 1 overall ranked Virginia the next game. So
nothing.
The 1 seed's fucking you up here. I don't see Kevin Nash on the roster. Looks like he took off after his junior year. I know he had a knee injury or some shit. So
he's out wrestling by now.
There you go. Oh, yeah. He's putting it together, thinking about it.
Yes.
So here he is. We have 29 games played, 28 started now. So now he's a player. 17.7 points per game.
Wow.
That's something. 6.4 rebounds, 1.2 steals. That's a good fucking year.
How did he do that?
Not bad. He's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a damn fine player. He's a good shooter in college. If you can shoot, man, you can play. A jumper will kill everybody.
Jesus.
81-82, they're 20-10. They beat Louisiana in the first round of the playoffs, so they always beat the team they're supposed to beat, even though they're a lower seed, actually, because they're a 9 seed and they're an 8 seed. The last time they were a 12 that beat a 5, so that's not bad. But then they lose the next game, a 3-point game, too, 54-51 to number 1 overall Virginia.
Again, Virginia. Wow, who did they have?
I don't know. They played them tough, though, I guess. So there's that. 82-83. Oh, that year he started all 30 games, by the way. That year. Started all 30. 21.2 points a game his junior year. 21-2, 6.3 rebounds, 1.6 steals. That's good.
Yeah.
He's not bad. Only 0.7 assists. They're like, Dale, just shoot the fucking ball. Don't pass it to Gary Carter. What is wrong with you? Shoot the goddamn thing.
You don't have Big Sexy down there anymore.
No, you don't have Big Sexy in the post. This team, by the way, he is the only NBA player on this entire squad.
Wow.
The only guy I'll ever play in the NBA on the squad. So he's carrying this fucking team.
For sure.
To the second round of the tournament. He's got to be, Gary, get off me. Jesus Christ. 82-83, they're 20-12. They beat Marquette in the first round. God, every year, first round they win 57-66, then lose to the number 1 seed Louisville in the next round. So,
wow, how do they keep getting tossed to the number 1 the second round?
Keep drawing the number 1. It's, I guess, where they are in the seeding.
How the bracket works, sure.
That's tough. And on this team, he, again, is the only NBA player on this team. So for 2 years, he completely carried this team. He started all 32 games they played, 22.6 points a game.
Jeez, every year.
Even better. 6.5 rebounds, his best year scoring, best year rebounding, 1.6 steals, too. So he's crushing it. Absolutely. I mean, that's a fucking prospect.
For sure, the best player on that team.
And he said later he thought he was misused at Tennessee, too. He didn't even think they used him right, and he was still
We could have been better.
Yeah, he says they could have actually helped me out a little more, but didn't. So 1983 draft, baby. Here we go.
83?
83 draft. This is kind of a famous draft, I guess. Not as famous as the next one,
next
though.
year, yeah.
The next year's the big one with Jordan and Barkley and all those guys, Olajuwon, but this is different.
Who the fuck came out in 83?
Number 1 overall without even a fucking question, because he was overall. What do you say, Jimmy? Number 1 overall pick, 1983 NBA
Karl
draft.
Malone.
Ralph Sampson.
Ralph Sampson and then Len Bias, yes?
No, that was 86, Len Bias.
Oh, who's 83?
83 is just Ralph Sampson.
No, who's after him, I mean?
Steve Stipanovich.
What?
Yeah.
What is happening here? Who else is in here?
Everyone's going to 84. Houston took Sampson, and then they took Olajuwon to have the Twin Towers the next year.
Okay.
So that was their whole game. And then Olajuwon became a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest players of all time, and Sampson had a lot of injuries. So
there was nobody else that came out in 83 that was worth a fuck?
I mean, there's some guys that are good, but not like Jordan or Barkley. None of that. Steve Stipanovich, Rodney McRae, number 3 to Houston, Byron Scott, who was a very good part of
better coach than he was player. Yeah.
He was a good player, part of that 80s Lakers Showtime thing. So, I mean, he fit right into that. Russell Cross for Golden State, number 6. Thurl Bailey for Utah, number 7.
What?
Antoine Carr, I remember him from the late years with the Jazz later on. Detroit took him. Then Dale Ellis, number 9 overall.
Wow.
Number 9 overall by Dallas.
A top 10 draft
pick?
Top
10 pick. Oh, look at those stats. He was killing it.
Oh, he was the best timing of all time, too, to come out the year before all that shit.
Yeah, you would have been pushed way back. And out of everybody in the first round, he had the longest NBA career, Dale Ellis.
Sure.
Behind him, Antoine Carr had 16 years, and then Derek Harper's also in this draft. And Derek Harper is number 11 overall to Dallas, so they got Ellis and Harper in the same draft here, 2 spots apart. He also played 16 years. Also, Darrell Walker, Ennis Watley, Clyde Drexler, number 14.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of teams could have had Clyde Drexler and didn't. The Knicks picked Ennis Watley, the pick before Clyde Drexler. So the Knicks could have had fucking Clyde Drexler through the 80s. They could have had Drexler and Patrick Ewing, and instead we had not Drexler.
Oh, my God. They could have had Drexler, Ewing, and Oakley. That's crazy.
That would have been great later.
That's tough.
John Paxson later on.
Also not to the Bulls, right?
Number 19 to San Antonio. He went to San Antonio first. Greg Kite, the big stiff.
Yikes,
guy,
really?
To Boston. That's the first round. I mean,
that is fucking depressing.
The best 2 players in the second round, Mark West and Doc Rivers.
Wow.
Who were, neither of them were, MVPs. Craig Elo in the third round. He was a decent player for a while.
he's going to get immortalized forever by Jordan in a couple of years.
That's it. And that's it. So he's the number 9 overall pick.
That is a terrible draft.
It's one of the worst. It's a terrible draft. It's fucking awful. It's a shit draft. And then the next year it's loaded. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
that's how drafts go. NFL, the 83 draft was fucking loaded, and then the 84 draft was Boomer Esiason.
Craig Elo.
The
Craig Elo of the NFL.
The Craig Elo of the, Boomer Esiason. Same guy. So I'm going to say it now. Grace. That's great. For
sure, right? He's the fucking best thing picked in this draft.
It's going great. Well, and it's not even on the court that makes it not grace anymore. It is that 2 weeks after he's drafted, he's arrested and charged with DUI or DWI.
Really?
Yeah, immediately. 2 weeks.
In 1983?
Just
how drunk
up.
do you have to be in 1983 to get a DUI?
Well, let's find out here. 4 a.m., he was in Knoxville, so he's still hanging out in his college town. Go to Dallas.
Why would he do that?
Look, because he's driving his new Jaguar. That's why.
Oh,
he's getting fucking.
Yeah.
Hey,
he's getting laid. Yeah.
Big man on campus. Now I'm showing up in my new Jaguar. What
top 10 draft pick?
He probably said, "Let's see how many girls we can fit into this Jaguar." It's like a clown.
Let's
car
see how many
bro.
girls I can fit my dick in their mouth at the same time. That's what he's doing.
Ladies, clothes off and grease up. Let's go. Come on.
Clothes off and spread them.
Let's squeeze in there. So he's driving. He drove up to the rear of a state patrol car at about 70 miles an hour. and then slowed down and passed him.
Because he didn't see him.
Yeah. Then the cops watched as he weaved back and forth across both lanes. So rather than seeing a cop up ahead and staying back and being cool, he was like, fuck it, I'll pass him. I'm Dale Ellis.
Too faster than him.
He told the cop he was drinking beer. I've been drinking some beer, nothing much. And he had slightly above a 0.10 blood alcohol content, which was the legal limit, so he got arrested. Problem is, he refused the blood alcohol test. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So not good here. Not doing well with that. That's not going to work. So the Mavericks, there's a Fort Worth Star-Telegram. The headline is Mavericks' Mum on Arrest of Ellis.
They ain't saying a word.
They ain't saying shit about it. No. They said, quote, "We don't know anything except what's in the newspaper," is what the director of communications said.
Really?
From an official standpoint, we don't feel there's anything we can say. What can we say? He's our draft priority, but he's not our employee, and we don't know enough about him, enough to say anything about his character. To be sure, you hate to have a story like that come out, but we don't have any reactions to it at all. Silver.
There's a reaction. I'm just not giving it to you.
Not going to do shit. Yeah, the trooper said he had an extremely high rate of speed, and they said if he was a little less drunk, he wouldn't have got arrested. But
yeah,
he admitted he admitted he'd been drinking. And the communications guy, this is the cop. He said he wasn't the only one that I'm sorry. I just fucked that all up. Jesus Christ. Said I usually read the affidavit, and if it presents sufficient facts from which I can make a determination of probable cause, I can sign a warrant. That's the judge that said that. So anyway, he had just dropped off Derek Harper at his hotel an hour earlier. So Derek Harper skated on that shit.
Yeah. Derek Harper, drunk as piss, a little bit more of a lisp.
Yeah. So he said that while Dale Ellis, they said that everyone at home was shocked because they're like, he doesn't drink. What are we talking about? That's crazy.
I assure you, he drinks.
Don't know anything about that. No, he doesn't drink at all. He's in college plowing chicks sober as shit.
Yeah.
So Daryl, his brother, said in Marietta he focused on basketball, and that's all he wanted to do. He said now he's gotten to where he wants to be. He's got his focus on a lot of other things. That sums it up. He just gets more frustrated now when things don't go right for him. Okay.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a contract yet because the Mavs just said he's not an employee, which means he better straighten it the fuck up before he doesn't have a career.
He gets cleared of the DUI charge very quickly here.
Oh.
Within like a couple of weeks.
Charges dropped.
Everything's all fine here. Yeah. He was going to have a plea bargain, and this newspaper article said he put the brakes on a plea bargain that would have kept his charge of drunken and reckless driving out of court. He was found not guilty instead.
In completely unrelated news, the police department has 7 new squad cars.
It's weird, right? And a lot of autographed pictures of Dale Ellis hanging in fucking cubicles and shit. Really strange. And you should come to this weekend's pancake breakfast and basketball game between the police department and the fire department. We got a special guest on our team. No telling you who it is, though. Buy your tickets for the benevolent ball there.
And we're all wearing Mavericks jerseys.
Oh, my God. Brand new Mavericks jerseys with our own names on them. So the judge did find him guilty of going over the speed limit, 65 and a 55, but the cost of a speeding ticket is a lot less, obviously, than a DUI.
What? He got a speeding ticket.
That's it. His agent said they put 5 witnesses on the stand, and all of them, including the arresting officer, said that Dale was cooperative, a gentleman, and quite polite. Well, that doesn't matter if you're shit-faced.
Sometimes
who cares?
Drunk or all that.
Yeah, Dahmer was polite too.
Yeah,
he was great. They sat him down.
That's how he
was
got people back to his
I meant once they caught him with heads. He was like, sure, that's great. But they didn't say we're going to let him go now.
When a man's drunk and being a criminal, sometimes he's just a sweetheart.
He's got to be. Yeah, he likes to. This is where he wants to be. He said it was the judge's opinion that Dale was not driving under the influence, and he threw out the DWI and reckless driving charges, even though he blew a.
It was his opinion.
It's opinion. You know what? Talking to the guy, I don't think he was drunk.
I know a lot of guys named Monique. None of them are drunk.
And this is in Knoxville, where he just carried the Vols to the tournament 2 straight years.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he was drunk.
I just don't think so. He's not the kind of guy to do that. I know tests and numbers and blood alcohol.
I'm paid to literally judge.
Yeah,
so,
I'm judging him
to be sober.
a fine man and a sober fine man.
I judge him a speeder.
That's it. You're a speeder, and that's it. So the district attorney and the arresting officer had agreed to drop the charges if Dale Ellis would attend DUI school for 1 week, but he wouldn't do that. And he said, no, we're going to trial. I won't do a week of DUI school. Fuck your mother. No.
I got playbooks to remember.
Monique doesn't play that shit. Let me tell you that right now. So he wouldn't comment on it, but his agent would. His agent said he's very happy. Dale couldn't have gotten all of this cleared up if he had stayed out of court. So he said he had to get it cleared up, man. That's all it was. So the manager, the general manager of Dallas here, Norm Sanju, said, that's encouraging. I'm glad for his own good that it was not more serious than it was. Maybe he will learn from this and put it behind him. What do you think, everybody?
Yeah.
Crime and sports listeners, anybody think it's over?
A man named Monique is going to get it together now.
He's going to get it all together. Everything's fine. Clean slate. Everything's okay here. So apparently a pathologist here testified for him. He had a University of Tennessee pathologist. I bet he did it for free.
He certainly didn't do it because his alma mater asked him to.
No, he testified that equipment can be inaccurate by up to 0.01, meaning that he could have been a 0.09, not a 0.10. So at that point, he wouldn't have been drunk. So presto changeo, it's all good.
When was it last calibrated?
And that's
probably not guilty.
He was fined $25 for speeding.
Wow.
That is fucking amazing. I love it. That's fucking awesome.
Think about that every time you reminisce about the DUI that ruined your fucking life.
Yeah, think about it's like, well, you know, the thing that cost you $10,000.
Yeah, and your parental responsibilities.
Yeah, everything else blowing into that fucking thing in your car. You should have been taller. Think about that.
Yeah. Maybe you should have went to the dance, man. I don't know. It's your fault.
Maybe you should have taken a little more practice on those outside jumpers. Ever think of that, motherfucker? Probably not. That's what you get. So 83-84 Mavericks. They're 43-39, actually.
Yeah.
Which is, I didn't know they were half decent even back then.
That didn't do anything for them, did it? 50-50?
They went to the playoffs. You go to the playoffs if you're over 500. Yeah, they beat the Supersonics in 5 games in the first round. Then they lose to the Lakers, who were a dynasty at that point. So that's going to happen. So this is what he's used to. Win in the first round, then get smoked by the eventual fucking steamrolling champion here.
Head on home after you played the best that there is to offer.
Yep. This is Rolando Blackman, Mark Aguirre, Pat Cummings, Derek Harper.
Yikes. That guy looked like a penis, man. He looked like a...
I think you're thinking Terry Cummings.
No. This is the super white bald guy that had like no eyebrows.
Okay, yes.
He was a black guy that just looked like a fucking mole. He was
Terry
the
Cummings
man.
looks like a penis with a condom on over it. He's weird looking too. Like it looks like one is put over him, but you can see him through it.
Yeah,
it's very strange. Like he's robbing a bank with a pantyhose on his head.
You can see him through it.
Yeah, like a pantyhose robbery.
Yeah.
So this year he plays in 67 games, only starts 2. He's a rookie. 8.2 points, 2.1 rebounds a game. So not bad. A 414 3-point percentage as well, because the NBA, I believe 80 was the first year of the 3-point line in the NBA. 80
I don't know
season. I'm pretty sure it was then.
That makes sense.
If that makes sense. Or 79-80. 80 was involved in that at some point. 84-85 Mavs, 44-38, pretty much the same record, 1 game different. Yeah. This year they go to the playoffs again and lose to Portland in the first round.
With Drexler. They got Terry Porter. They got everybody.
They got a good squad back then. Did they have Terry Porter yet? I think they had him
in 85? 86?
I think they had him in 85.
Maybe not.
It might have been later. I'm not sure. But they had Drexler. I mean,
yeah, for sure. We know that.
They had guys like that. So
Livingston,
not too shabby. Yeah. 72 games he plays and starts for 9.3 points a game, 1.9 rebounds per game. So, he's coming along, but it's slow going in the NBA, especially back then. They would ease you in. They didn't expect you to be a star immediately.
Right.
He does make $200,000 that year from the Mavs, though.
Oh.
Which is not too shabby. 85-86, they're 44-38. Again, it's just the same team over and over.
Yeah.
They beat the Jazz in the first round, but then lose to, again, the Lakers in the second round there.
Well, what are you going to do?
I believe the Celtics beat the Lakers in the playoffs that year. No, because the end of that is losing to the Pistons in like 89.
Oh, was it that late?
Or 90 even, I think.
Wow.
And then they actually made the finals again and lost to the Bulls the next year.
Right. Yeah.
Their showtime went all the way through.
Man, Jesus, to 91.
To 91, and then Magic Johnson had AIDS right after that. He got
weird.
HIV.
Yeah.
That was that. Then there was the Dream Team.
Yeah.
That's how that went. Yeah.
If you believe he's got it.
Yep, if you believe it. So this day, they've added Sam Perkins now, too, who I always like.
Yeah, and Fat Lever.
He always looks fucking stoned as shit. I don't think they have Fatty yet. No, they have Detlef Shrimp, though. They add Detlef Shrimp
he was
to the
drafted
team.
There, that's right.
Yeah. Bill Wennington. This is a very young team. The oldest guy on the team is 30, and there's only one 30-year-old.
Really?
A lot of guys 22, 23, 24. It's a very young team.
Who's the other Harper? Not Ron, the other one.
Derek. He's on the team.
Okay, Derek Harper. Yeah,
Derek's his boy there that they got drafted to.
Oh, I was thinking of Ron Harper.
No, different guy. Ron Harper was drafted by the Clippers, I believe. He played for the Clippers at first. So sometime in 86, he's got all sorts of traffic issues we'll find out through the year. He gets a lot of tickets and like reckless driving and not having a fucking insurance or not having this, not having that. A lot of speeding, a lot of that kind of shit. In 86, he has a speeding violation again here. So, he's having some problems here. Now, Dale talks about how I guess Dallas was leading by 20, and the coach called for Dale Ellis to enter the game, and Ellis just sat there. It's like, oh, you're putting me in garbage time. There was 6 minutes left, up by 20. And he said that this was his chance to make a statement to the coach in front of everybody. That I'm more than just garbage time, man.
Yeah.
Ellis said, quote, I felt he was making a fool out of me. Either play me to help the team win or I wasn't going to play at all. He was so constantly slapping me in the face, I finally slapped him back. That's when I knew I had to be traded. Well, yeah.
You're going away for this.
That's not going to work. It was getting ridiculous. It suddenly dawned on me that one day I was going to wake up and my career was going to be over without it ever getting started.
Mm-hmm.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
And he said that he was really mad that the Mavs had turned down a number 1 draft choice offer for him from the Knicks.
Really?
He was pissed off. He said, quote, "They said they liked me too much to give me away." He said, that's fucking ridiculous.
You like me, but you treat me like this. I kind of understand what he's saying.
Yeah, you like me, but then you sit me and you don't use me. Thanks a lot. Mm-hmm. So he only started 1 game that year.
And they were offered a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, he's 15 minutes a game. He's playing garbage time. They're playing him at the end of halves and, a little sub out and shit like that.
And he's so clutch.
He makes $225,000 that year. He's pissed off. And on July 23rd, the Mavs trade him to the Seattle Supersonics for Al Wood. So they could have got a number 1 draft pick. Instead, they got Al Wood.
And this is why the Mavericks stunk until 1996.
Exactly. Yeah, they were a fucking disaster.
Terrible, fucking horrible choices.
As a kid, like in the 80s, if you said to me, like, name all the basketball teams, I would have named them all and then went, oh yeah, Dallas. That's right. Yeah. You just forgot they fucking existed.
They never made they were the Bucks of the West. They never made the fucking playoffs. They were always awful.
And if they did, they were just first round bump out fodder.
Yeah, it was a first. It was the one that the number 1 seed got in the first round that would just bounce them anyway.
Trounces the shit out of. Has a nice warm up for this
best of 5. They're gonna get swept in 3, and we aren't gonna think about them in a week.
And then we never have to think about Dallas again here as a basketball team. So 86-87 Seattle, they're 39-43, which is good enough to make the playoffs at under 500.
39 games?
Yeah, 39-43. Fucking under the, that's wild.
Fucking terrible was the West.
That is wild. Well, they beat Dallas in the first round. That must have felt good at the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Houston Rockets in the second round, 6 games. They go all the way to the Western Conference Finals.
Is that right?
They weren't even 500, and they get swept by the Lakers, who were, I believe, won the championship that year. So,
and they got Perkins. Tough. They probably have Schrempf. And do they have Kemp and fucking Peyton yet?
They have Ellis. They have Xavier McDaniel, who will punch you right in the face. I love him.
That's a weapon. You bet.
Tom Chambers on this. Underrated as fuck, Tom Chambers. Yeah. He's a great player, Tom Chambers. Alton Lister, Nate McMillan, who is terrific. Nate McMillan was really good. It's his, I think, second year or first year. They have a 31-year-old Eddie Johnson, not that Eddie Johnson,
right?
I think.
The good one.
The other Eddie Johnson, who didn't rape a 9-year-old. So that's good. That's what he did.
Do a lot of cocaine.
And do a lot of cocaine and steal a Porsche he was test driving. And we're going to do a multi-parter on Eddie Johnson coming up. By the way.
The bad one.
Yeah, we did our original. It was like episode 5. It was only an hour long. He got arrested 110 times. We covered that in an hour somehow. So we gotta really focus on him. So we'll do a good multi-parter. So that's the team. No Gary Payton, no Sean Kemp.
No Sean Kemp, and Kemp not even Perkins, huh?
Kemp was 89, I think. No, Perkins was on Dallas still.
Oh.
Perkins was still there. May 5th, 87, the Sonics are going to have no comment on some arrests that happened here. Okay.
Oh, they got nothing to say?
No comment here. I guess the Kevin Williams, a reserve guard, shoved a television camerawoman while Dale Ellis responded amicably to media questions in the wake of their arrests following an incident at a nightclub. Here we go.
Oh, what'd you do, Dale?
Oh, yeah. I guess they wouldn't talk to these camera crews. I guess Williams was shoving camera women, and Dale Ellis was being polite. Dale Ellis and other players declined to discuss the incident. Ellis said, "I'd like to tell you all of what happened, but at this time I've been advised not to. I can't let it bother me. It's just something that happened. It's not even a big deal. It's already blown out of proportion." Apparently they were at the Ocean Club. According to the manager of the Ocean Club, Williams punched the manager, Scott Shelton, then struggled with 2 off-duty police officers who tried to take him into custody afterwards.
Why the fuck did he do that?
Well, the club manager said that after a waitress complained, he asked Williams to move out of an area that allows waitresses access to the bar. He was by where the waitresses go behind the bar.
Where they order.
Move.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm coming through with trays. Get the fuck out of here. So I guess Williams looked around. This is what Shelton said, quote, he looked around and told me, don't tell me what to do. Okay. He said, if you want me to move, then you'll have to move me. Then he pushed me in the face. So, yeah, they were arrested. I don't see what Ellis was doing, really, but we'll find out here.
Guilty
Ellis
association.
Well, no, they were arrested at 12:45, which isn't great. Shelton said he looked for a bartender or another manager to help after Williams took a swing at him, and he sent a waitress to get 2 police officers. He then says he walked up to Dale Ellis, who was standing by the speakers on the edge of the dance floor. I couldn't hear what he said to him. Then the police came walking up, and I tapped him on the shoulder, meaning Williams. He looked back and punched me in the side of the head jaw area.
Oh, my God.
He hit him again. He struggled with police the whole time. The whole time he was cussing away, saying it's not right. I don't know what Dale Ellis did. He doesn't sound like he did anything, but he got arrested.
It sounds like he was with the guy, and he was just.
Yeah.
I mean, he's being a gentleman, so he's probably drunk.
It just doesn't make any sense of why he's arrested. This guy punched the manager, pushed him, and then punched him. Then this guy, Dale Ellis, talked to him for a minute. I don't understand how you're in cuffs. You're with him, hands behind your back.
I guess. I don't know.
That's weird here. Anyway, this year, Dale Ellis is going to play in all 82 games. He's going to start 76 games.
Okay.
76 games, and he is going to average 24.9 points per game.
MVP.
Told you, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I mean, Jesus Christ, told you.
Yeah.
They wouldn't listen. 5.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 1.3 steals, filling up the fucking stat sheet, too.
For sure, yeah.
Doing very well here. I think he leads in minutes per game in the NBA too. So wow, he's crushing. Not bad at all. He starts all 14 games, averages 25.2 in the playoffs too. So even steps his game up better in the playoffs. So he's good. Now July 2nd, 87, Williams is going to end up getting fined, and Dale Ellis, they dropped the charges against him because I'm sure the judge was like, "Why are you here again?"
Right. Who are you?
I don't understand what you're
Monique,
talking about.
what did you do in this scenario? I can't figure it out.
I don't know what you're doing. But
I
Williams,
stood next to the music feeling the groove. Oh.
Yeah. And then my friend came up and talked to me, and the next thing you know, I was in fucking handcuffs. I don't understand what's going on here.
You may go feel the groove, sir.
You're tall, too. Let's have you groove in this cell. I'll turn the radio on in my car. How's that? So there's Williams gets 20 hours of community service. Which isn't much here. 1987, Dale Ellis has 3 more moving violations. Whole bunch of shit going on there.
He's so bad at driving.
87, 88 Seattle, 44 and 38. If you get Dale Ellis, your team will be 44 and 38. Every fucking year. It's just the way it works.
Just above 5. We'll be better than mediocre.
Be a playoff team.
We'll make it. Yeah.
We'll make it. And then
we'll grind it out, and then we'll try and reset in the playoffs.
Absolutely. They lose in the first round to Denver this year, which isn't great. They got Sadal Threet on the team. Olden Polynice, our old friend, CIS alumni here. Oh, yeah. They're right in the bad bin with you, Olden. Still no Gary Payton and no...
Sadal Threet's dead, isn't he?
I don't know. Maybe
I think he is.
He was 26 at this point, so he wasn't dead yet.
Pretty sure he's dead.
He might be dead now. He also, February 1988, Dale gets his 3rd late night ticket in 2 months, this time for running a red light. So he's out at night and he's driving poorly. That we know.
Traffic laws are a suggestion to this man.
Doesn't give a fuck.
If it's applicable, I'll do it, but I'll make the judgment call.
Yeah, I see a red light. It's a depth perception thing. I'm really tall, so it's different for me. So
there's also nobody was there, so I'm not stopping.
I just went. Fuck it. March 3rd, 1988, the NBA is investigating a fight that occurred between Dale Ellis's wife, Monique, and Alton Lister's wife.
What?
A teammate. That's amazing.
Why are they punching each other?
Fucking amazing. Well, the club said that Monique Ellis and Bobby Joe Lister fought outside the Sonics locker room 10 minutes after a 114-100 Seattle victory. They won the fucking game.
Based on
what
her
are you
name,
fighting about?
Miss
Bobby
Liston
Joe?
wins. Yeah,
I'm not fighting a girl named Bobby Joe.
No, Bobby Joe Liston.
Bobby Joe Lister.
I'm betting the house. Lister. I'm betting the house on
matter.
her. She sounds badass.
She's beating Monique's ass because Monique has to like tuck her nails. It's harder for her to hit. You know what I mean?
And she keeps screaming, "Don't touch my hair."
Oh, Monique's sister was involved also. Not Dale's sister.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, they had a fucking brawl. Bobby Joe beat up 2 of these fucking broads.
That's what tough Bobby Joe is.
This was in the middle of Coach Bernie Bickerstaff's press conference in a room 100 feet, 50 feet away. So the whole assembled media is here in Seattle, and they hear a throwdown street fight outside of the locker room, a cat fight going on.
A cat fight where one Bobby Joe is beating the shit out of 2 women.
Monique and a relative. Supersonic's president said, quote, "In my mind, this is a family matter, but we can't hide it. The incident did occur. This is embarrassing," is what he says. That's the way it is.
It is a family affair, and I beat off to it.
It was pretty hot. I'm not going to lie.
It's pretty amazing. A titty fell out.
I was going to say, I know a tit was going to fall out, so I watched.
For sure.
The wives had been arguing several times in recent months, mainly because, this is the reports, Lister signed a 4-year, $4.2 million contract during the exhibition season, while Ellis and the club failed to renegotiate his contract, and it remains at $325,000. They're arguing about your husband makes money he don't deserve, and my husband's scoring 25 a fucking game, and how the fuck you're taking money out of my fucking pocket.
Yeah,
don't worry. Why are they fighting?
Your bum-ass husband has my husband's money.
Fight the general manager. He's the one giving out contracts. Don't fight him.
Punch the shit out of your agent, man. It's his fault.
Yeah, it's not her fault. Jesus Christ.
No.
Be happy for them. March 5th, 88 here. They're saying the wives could be banned from the arena, which is hilarious.
And the guys have never been happier.
Oh,
for the first time,
God.
Dale Ellis showed emotion.
That's fucking amazing. That is, Nadia, Monique's sister. They're all Bobby Joe, her friend Bernita. They might be banned, as well as Monique and Nadia, her sister, Monique's sister. Yeah. So, holy shit, that's fucking funny. May 26, 1988, Dale's got 2 lawsuits against him.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. This is Dale and his wife are being sued. This stems from an alleged attack in March outside the Seattle Coliseum. And they said that apparently, they say the plaintiff says that a wrecked, abandoned BMW sports car and an unpaid repair bill is what he's suing for here. Bernita Johnson, a personal injury lawsuit, claims Monique kicked and punched her after a Sonics game. This is the friend.
That's the attack. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's her friend. They originally had it as Bernita Horton, but this is that'd be too close of a coincidence here. Bernita Johnson, I guess, after a Sonics game, hurting her emotionally and physically, causing the loss of an expensive watch and bracelet. Also named are Dale Ellis, Nadia Gordon, who is Monique's sister,
right,
who allegedly took part in the attack. And the Sonics team itself, because the suit said that the officials did not attempt to prevent Monique Ellis from attacking patrons.
Oh, my God.
Yes, doesn't specify how much money she seeks here. A second lawsuit also filed here. An auto broker claims that Dale Ellis crashed, then abandoned an older model BMW he borrowed while his 83 Jaguar was being repaired.
Uh-huh.
The company Complete Automotive Inc. contains that he totaled the car in the early morning hours last November 21st while exiting the interstate. And from what I understand, too, he was found wandering off, hitting the head and groggy. Dale Ellis.
Like a drunk would do.
Apparently, I don't think he was drunk. He just had an injury. Yeah. The car is seeking $6,900 for the value of the car and $813 that he didn't pay to repair his Jaguar either. So there you go. An 87-88 season, he starts 73 games, 25.8 points a game.
Doing great.
That is really a lot. That's impressive. 4.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists. He's doing just fucking fine here, but he makes $325,000 as we've noted, and his wife will fight over that shit. 88-89 Seattle, 47-35 this year.
Okay.
So this year,
good.
That's not bad at all. A little better. They beat Houston in the first round of the playoffs and then are swept by L.A. again.
Damn it.
Who I think goes on to lose to the Pistons, if I'm not mistaken.
Got to be it, yeah.
So there you go. And also in 88, a total of 7 moving violations for Dale.
It's the worst driver ever.
7 moving and a crashed fucking car. That's from the year before. So I mean, he
crashed somebody else's car yesterday.
December 88, he speaks to the press and says that he has checked into a hotel because of marital problems. And they said, "What's going on?" And he said, "Things are falling apart."
Yeah, she wants to make more money, and they don't want to pay me more money.
She fights other teammates' wives because they make more money than me. That's why.
Because she's got a better bag.
Wow. So January 9th, 1989, he's going to be arrested and charged with domestic violence and resisting arrest.
Oh, boy.
After police received a telephone call from his home phone here. Which is fucked up because he, right before this, he had a career-high 49 points like the week before against Sacramento. God. So the police get Bellevue, Washington police respond to a domestic violence call from his wife. He's booked in at 10:30 a.m. on charges of domestic violence, civil assault, resisting arrest, and having an outstanding warrant for driving without a license.
Uh-oh.
There's that, too. He's held for 2 hours before he is released, and this is the Supersonics president said this, quote, "This is for domestic violence arrest, okay?"
Yeah.
Imagine this now being said, quote, "This is a domestic problem with Dale and Monique, and we hope they're able to work it out. He will definitely play as far as we're concerned." When asked,
imagine the fucking Raven said that.
Private problem. Yeah. Ray's going to be in the game. I don't know. We hope him and his wife, we hope once she wakes up, once someone puts some smelling salts under her nose, that they'll be able to work that out.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
See, I guess that's the benefit of today's society of having cameras fucking everywhere. Because if we saw the Ring doorbell footage of this shit, like we saw of Richard Sherman, you would never think the same of him ever again. Because every time I see Richard Sherman now, I'm just like, oh, my God, that guy is a lunatic.
It's just seeing it. Yeah, people can know it happened, but if they saw it, then it's in their brain.
Experiencing it and feeling that emotion that you feel in the moment of what they say.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Our brains feel like computers, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're really they're dumb, and we will put more weight on something that happened that's less that we saw than something that happened that's more that we didn't see because we saw that. So that's how our brains are fucked up, man.
Because we weren't
monkeys,
there.
and that's it.
Right. It means it wasn't near as vicious as it was. I mean,
exactly.
We weren't there. We don't know what happened. If you just told me Ray Rice punched his wife
dragged her out like a caveman drags out a fucking
I'd be like, all right,
foe.
sure he did. But then you see the video, you're like, oh my God, he knocked her out and drug her out like a caveman.
Hit the fuck out of her. Now, he does have a renegotiated contract worth $7.3 million over 6 years, so
he did well.
He's got some cash.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So January 10th, 1989, he enters a plea of not guilty here.
Yeah.
Pleads innocent, says he did not beat up his wife at all. Doesn't know what you're talking about, obviously.
Okay.
He has expressed interest. His city prosecutor said that Ellis has expressed interest in being considered for Bellevue's domestic violence program, which I think is a place where you go and they teach you how to really lay it into your wife good. It's a program they go, now you really hit her with a phone book this time. That way when the cops come.
Upon entry, you are issued gloves.
This involves up to a year of counseling and probation. If he declines to enter the program, he's got to go to jail or got to go to trial with a maximum penalty of a year in jail.
Yeah.
So now this is all he will say about this. He says that we did have a problem between us Sunday, but we honestly were surprised the authorities were called to the scene. To us, the matter has been blown out of proportion, as we understand will happen when you're in the public spotlight. It's exactly what O.J. said to Roy Firestone after he got on New Year's Eve was smashing the shit out of Nicole's car, and she was coming away bleeding and running from the house saying he's going to kill me. It's exactly what he said. As far as we're concerned, there's nothing especially dramatic about the entire situation. We've resolved the matter privately, and that's how we would like to keep it. That's what they used to say. They used to just be like, listen, it's a private matter. You know, it's been blown out of proportion because we're famous. And people go, oh, that makes sense. And they just let it go. But the judge says no, he won't enter the city of Bellevue's domestic violence diversion program. His lawyer says, I'm sorry, not the judge. His lawyer said that his recent dispute with his wife was an isolated incident and not part of an ongoing problem that he needs treatment for.
Okay.
He said such a problem would unduly and unnecessarily stigmatize his client as a wife beater. Well, what do you think getting arrested stigmatizes you as? We're still talking about it. It's 35 years ago. What do you think?
Yeah, he thinks that just because he was arrested for it doesn't mean that sticks. If it goes, I mean, a lot of people have been exonerated, and we still think of them as fucking monsters.
It just happens, and he said this too. I can tell you this: Dale Ellis is not a wife batterer.
Okay,
not a wife batterer. And they said that Haynes said that Ellis, this is the lawyer, Ellis has agreed to enter family counseling program with a private specialist beginning this week. Monique will also take part in the program. So he'll do that, but nothing else.
Yeah.
So this is from 1990 here from the Seattle Times. While perhaps no player dominated All-Star Weekend in Houston last year as thoroughly as Ellis, he was equally conspicuous with his absence of enthusiasm. Yeah, Dale Ellis, boomed the announcer at the All-Star presentation the evening after he won the three-point shooting contest, because he did that year.
Yes.
Several thousand corporate sponsors, league executives, and other well-dressed visitors peered through the darkness to the glittery stage as the spotlight swung to where Ellis was supposed to walk out. He wasn't there. He skipped it. He just didn't come.
He didn't show?
Didn't show. He went 12 for 16 in the All-Star game with 27 points and finished third in the MVP balloting. Mm-hmm. And that's when it was Magic and Jordan and Isaiah and like
this
a lot
a big
of stuff.
Deal.
Bird, fucking stars. Then he dressed and left the locker room. That's it. Just took off.
Holy shit.
That is fucking funny. Derek Harper, who is friends with him, said, "My mother always said, quiet people are the ones you got to watch out for. That's the way Dale is. He'll do anything to win when we play tennis. Cheat, call the ball out, and if we beat Seattle, he's just sick, even today." So
Derek had that really bizarre mustache.
Little one, yeah. Derek Harper, yeah.
Yeah, little
like a
too
Vince
small.
McMahon villain mustache. It was weird.
Little too small.
Like
little
like
bigger than Hitler, but a little too small.
Like a debonair guy in the 30s is what he looked like. Yeah.
A little too small for a guy that plays basketball.
Too small. Weird. I guess if you're a black guy, you can get away with Hitler shit, though.
Yeah, you can.
Michael Jordan had a Hitler mustache in 2012, and everyone went, fuck, he was a great player.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They didn't even talk. That tag on the back of the shirt is annoying.
It is annoying. Yeah. What about your Hitler mustache, Chief? How about that? So this year, Dale's an all-star, like we said. He plays in all 82 games. He averages 38.9 minutes a game. He is fucking playing. He has 27.5 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2 assists. He's badass.
One of the best in the league.
He's killing it, man. Absolutely killing it. The Sonics pay him $1.2 million this year. 89-90. Sonics are 41-41. No playoffs this year.
Wow. How many three spots are scoring like he is?
He's lighting it up. They have Sean Kemp now, Dana Barros.
Oh, wow.
Avery Johnson on the team. I forgot about him on this team.
Dana Barros played back then?
Yeah. Then he went to the Sixers after that for a long time.
Sixers, Celtics, fucking everywhere.
89 here. He gets 4 more moving violations in the 1989, by the way. That's like part
20.
of his stats. He has 25.6 points, 3.2 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 4 moving violations. It's every year. You got to give his whole stat line. That's part of it. The next year, 89-90, he only plays in 55 games. Averages 23.5 a game. I think he's hurt for a while here. Yeah. So 2.7 rebounds. Not terrible. An article from January says Ellis accident puzzles teammates. Okay. Well, Nate McMillan and other Seattle Supersonics players said they couldn't figure out the circumstances surrounding their teammate's arrest for suspicion of driving while intoxicated and reckless driving after he was injured in an early morning automobile accident.
Oh, no.
Everybody's asking the same questions. Who was he there with? Where was he at? Did anybody out here see him? We are puzzled, McMillan said. Everybody is shocked. It happened. It's a tremendous loss for us. He's hurt. He's in satisfactory condition at the hospital here. And He said it was horrible. He said the press said McMillan looked haggard and tired and deeply troubled at practice here. McMillan said, "That's a close friend, not just a teammate. We came here together. We've been through thick and thin. He was behind me in the change of the lineup and tried to keep me up." Big deal.
He got in a car accident that took him out of the lineup?
Yeah. And they said McMillan said the apparent involvement of alcohol in the accident was uncharacteristic of Ellis.
Everybody says he doesn't drink.
Everybody says quote, he's not an alcoholic or big-time drinker. Well, yeah, if he was an alcoholic, he'd be able to drive better when he's drunk.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Big-time drinkers figure it out.
They can get there. He said to hear that alcohol involvement when an athlete is in trouble or has an accident, that's the first thing they look for. It's sad to hear it. I don't even want to comment on that. Mm-hmm. He said that he also found it uncharacteristic that he didn't know Ellis had gone out or with whom he went out with after their win. He said, normally I would know when he would go out. Normally when he goes out, he asks me if I want to go. We all go together, 2 or 3 of us, but I was late getting to the locker room from a radio interview. He said a certain group of us, Dale, Sadat, X, meaning Xavier McDaniel, we have a bond where we hang together and do things together. Olden Polynice, who said he socialized occasionally with Ellis, said he was a moderate drinker. Well, compared to you.
Right.
He said a lot of time, this is Olden here, a lot of time when we go out to a nightclub or something, he won't drink. Other times he drinks a beer. That's all I've ever seen Dale drink is a beer every now and then. That's being honest. That's what I've seen. And then the reporter said, fuck, my camera lens broke. This guy broke. I tried to take a pixture of Olden. It's cracked everywhere.
This hideous motherfucker just broke my shit.
He's totally hideous, this guy. McDaniel, Xavier, said that he could not suggest any circumstances that would cause Ellis to drink heavily. When the suggestion was made to McDaniel that Ellis had endured a pressure-packed season because of an erratic shooting year, McDaniel said, I don't think that can lead a person into doing something he doesn't want to do. Yeah, stress has never made anyone drink.
Right, yeah.
McDaniel acknowledged that he, Ellis, and other players socialize occasionally, but he didn't know what or how much Ellis would drink under normal circumstances. McDaniel said Ellis's absence will be felt in the locker room as well as on the court. Ellis was a locker room leader. He said anytime you have a person of his caliber, he's a good person. Naturally, you're going to miss that. The fun and the joking around the locker room. Guys listen when he talks. These are the qualities that we're going to be missing. But that's where the team unity comes in, where we all have to pull together.
Because nobody else on this team is putting up 30 tonight. And he's averaging that, for Christ's sake.
According to the Washington State Patrol, it happened at 1:47 a.m. on the northbound on-ramp to the I-5 at Mercer Street. Mm-hmm. His 89 Mercedes, brand new Mercedes, or newish, struck a barrier that divides the express lane ramp from the main ramp, careened across the express lane, and struck the gate that closes the express lanes, which were open at the time.
He went across the fucking freeway.
The whole freeway. $20,000 damage to his car. He was offered a blood alcohol test, but they at the time refused to say whether he took it or not. So we'll see what happens. But they said it's a lot of problems in the last 3 years for Dale. Yeah. He's been cited at least 9 times on traffic violations, including 5 speeding violations. In '87, he crashed a car off the Dearborn Street exit of the I-5 and abandoned it. Remember, that was when he wandered off.
That's the BMW.
All fucking stunad there.
Else's car. Yeah.
Somebody else's shit. That car had been loaned to him. Ellis was also cited 2 years ago on the domestic dispute, obviously, here. And then also him and Kevin Williams, there's that issue. The Sonics president, this guy's busy talking about Dale all the time. Yeah. Bob Whitsitt, his hair is just silver as fuck. He said he looks like Einstein, this guy. He said, I'd be foolish to say we condone that. Of course not. If you want your players to understand their responsibilities, but you also need to understand your players as people and as young adults growing up. Young adults? I think he's like 28 or some shit. That's an adult.
Almost 30.
Man. So January 20th, 1990, 2 restaurant bouncers have been accused of trying to extort $50,000 from Dale Ellis.
Really?
Yes, for withholding damaging bogus testimony in a pending criminal driving case. King County prosecutors will decide by Thursday whether to charge 22-year-old Federal Way man and a 24-year-old Seattle man in connection with the case. The men are suspected of calling Ellis's attorney last week with an offer to remain quiet about information damaging to Ellis's case in exchange for money.
Give us some cash and we won't tell him that you were cut off because you were so drunk.
He cut off and did a fucking zigzag to your car. That is fucking wild. A decision on whether criminal charges will be filed against Ellis isn't expected till next week. The bouncers were arrested and booked in Kings County Jail and released. Fucking idiots. Yeah. By the way, he suffered 3 broken ribs and a collapsed lung in that accident. That's the
He's so lucky.
He's so fucking lucky. So the lawyer said they claimed to have information that was very damaging to Dale, including allegations of drug use. We knew this information was false because a blood test revealed Dale had not consumed any drugs. So that's that. They said the two offered to reveal this claim to the prosecutors in return for $50,000 from Dale. And the lawyer said they didn't care how much they were asking. They didn't want anything to do with it. So he agreed that Dale said that they needed to contact the prosecutor's office and say that. He said what Dale did was decent and right, and I think he deserves credit for that. He's a lousy driver, but he's an honest man.
Is that what
That's
he said?
amazing. His lawyer said, quote, he's a lousy driver, but an honest man. That is fucking funny as shit. That is.
He got in a car accident, and he was probably not wearing a seatbelt. If he collapsed a lung and broke ribs, that man hit the steering wheel.
Steering wheel like a motherfucker, man.
Holy
Absolutely.
fuck.
That is hilarious. So, January 26, 1990, Ellis will be charged with drunken driving.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're going to charge him. Finally, they said that. It's about fucking time here. The bouncers, by the way, I guess worked. Oh, the charges that they're charging him with are on statements from the patrons of the Celebrity Bar and Grill who observed him before he left.
Okay.
They said another person, a firefighter and two different people, a firefighter and a Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms agents. Both told police they saw his car speeding shortly before the accident. Then moments later, ATF agent Edward Hopkins said he and his friend came upon the accident and found Ellis stumbling and falling down as he tried to walk around his car.
Was there a worse person
Jesus
that you could
Christ.
have come upon your fucking accident?
I bet he has alcohol, tobacco, or firearms. We should talk to him.
He's got something.
He's got something in there.
Who's worse to fucking show up? Jesus.
Oh, shit. State trooper reported his speech was slurred, his eyes watering, and he reeked of alcohol.
Yeah.
Not great. Now, the other two guys, their names are Guy Thomas and Russell Holliday, the two bouncers. They could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted of bribery. So they are in there. He can get at most a sentence of 1 day in jail and a maximum of a year in jail. So he can get at maximum a year in jail, or they can get 10 years in jail.
Oh my God! He almost killed somebody.
No shit. They said at no point did anyone threaten anybody with saying anything derogatory about Dale Ellis. That's the one guy's attorney. At no time did this happen. We're not that stupid. This is an obvious attempt to make us look like two complete idiots. Whatever comes out of our mouth is wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, February 11th, 1990, he enters a plea of innocent. I wasn't drunk. What are you talking about? You know, those things can be off. Remember from my last time here?
0.01 at least.
So, February 24th, 1990, he decides to enter the extortion guys enter guilty pleas.
Good. What are they?
Guy Thomas said, I attempted to get money from an attorney in exchange for giving favorable trial testimony on behalf of his client. So, they're guilty of bribe receiving by a witness. That's the crime. They're going to attempt it, I guess, of trying to receive a bribe here. Sentencing will be later on, but they're pleading guilty. So, February 25th, 1990, they said Dale's expected to recover and be fine. He just has to stop driving.
This is a lot, James. This is a whole life story already, and I had no fucking idea of any of this.
Neither did I. This is crazy.
This is crazy.
None of this is on his Wikipedia.
Before he even plays for the Spurs and becomes a big deal in the NBA. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't even know he was this big of he was one of the best players in the league before he went to San Antonio.
Definitely a top 10
and
scorer.
I had no idea.
Top 10 points per game scorer. Bickerstaff, the coach, said, quote, it's time for Dale Ellis to step up to the plate and deal with Dale Ellis. That's hilarious.
Bernie's had enough.
He's had enough. We can't do anything for him anymore. He must address his own problems.
Yeah.
First of all, take a cab and fucking quit hitting your wife. So they said apparently he had His family spent the night in his room after he got hurt at the hospital. I guess they stayed at a hotel and all that kind of thing. They were saying how he was in bad shape and he had tubes coming from his chest to drain blood that was in his lungs and all this type of shit. And he barely moved or spoke, and they were all, scared that he wasn't going to play again ever and he might die. That sort of shit. His mom said, I don't want him to die and be lost. I want him to be safe. I want him to go to church. He's grown up in the church, That's what I want for him. How about just not in the car? How about that? Doesn't matter. Wow.
How about a cab or DD? I don't know.
Man, Uber would have made a fortune off him back in the day.
Oh, boy.
Bernie Bickerstaff said, right now Dale needs to recognize by himself what his problems are. Deal with Dale Ellis, damn it. He's a lousy driver. That's fucking amazing. Now, Derek Harper said this, and I think he, I don't know if he was in the car and had a head injury after he said this or what, but he was on a lot of drugs. I definitely blood test him for something after this.
Was he balls deep in Mein Kampf when they asked him this question?
Oh, never mind. He said Dale thinks. I thought he said I think. He said Dale thinks he's the best shooting guard in the league, including Jordan. He thinks he can score 40 points on anybody. Okay, calm down, Chief. Calm down. Does
silly. Dale really think that?
I guess you kind of have to think that, I suppose, to, I don't know. You kind of have to, I think. Yeah, I think you have to. So Daryl, they talked to, remember his twin brother here.
Yeah.
Daryl said he tried to play basketball at Piedmont College, but couldn't get along with the coach. And then he went to Savannah State, couldn't get along with that coach. Remember, he's the boisterous one, Daryl. So he joined the Marines, and that's what he's doing. He says that he's in awe of the kind of money that Dale makes, and, he says he definitely feels some envy sometimes. He says, I feel he's his twin. It's not even like we have the same
spread that
genetics.
money into the Marines, and not just on these guys.
Damn it. He said, but what I always say, I'm happy for him. The fact that he made it tells me I could have made it.
No.
Okay. No, that doesn't tell you that at all. He's bigger and better. Jesus Christ. Apparently, Daryl here, he said that I guess Daryl got arrested for tussling with his wife, I guess, in the front lawn. And that happened there. So that's interesting. Oh, no, not Daryl. Daryl's talking about Dale. I got confused because Daryl and Dale feel so similar. And I've read this like 3 times.
I need them to just write Monique so that we can know them.
Monique. It's Monique and Daryl and Vivian. Speaking of Vivian said, when we talked to Dale, we told him, it's like every year something's going down. When you're a superstar, you've got to shine like a superstar. And we told him, you're dulling it up like a rock.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Diamond.
Nobody believes it. Around here, he can do no wrong about, all the fucked up things he's got going on here. Lucille, the mother, wanted Dale to come back home. She talked with Atlanta coach Mike Fratello that year. His mom called a coach in Georgia and said, will you bring my son to Atlanta? That's not how that works.
That's wild.
But Dale didn't even want to. And when he became a free agent, he wanted to stay in Seattle. He didn't want to go play for Atlanta.
Smart.
Yeah, he's like, fucking no. So, plus I'm a 3 and so's Dominique Wilkins.
Right.
What am I going to do there?
Yeah.
I'm not playing there. So, they said it's better for him to stay away. This article says he's kind of more of an icon than a person in Marietta. So, maybe it's better to keep that sheen on him. They said when he goes there, quote, the children just wanted to touch him. That doesn't sound good. He said, I said to Dale, you see why you got to do something with your life. And this is his old guidance counselor said that. His old guidance counselor said, I want him to keep his image. People here have a great deal of respect for him, and I don't want him to let me down. Okay. Wow. So Daryl says, I expected this to happen to Dale, meaning his DUI charge. He said it's what happened to all pro athletes when they get to that status. They drive drunk. They don't have to drive drunk. You don't really have to.
No.
He says he doesn't know if Dale has a drinking problem or anything like that. He just says that he has a skepticism of the whole sports in America process and how it always seems that no matter how real or exaggerated the transgressions of these sports figures are, they all seem to make more money in the end. He said, quote, next thing you know, he'll be doing a rehabilitation commercial. Then he'll get a Discover card ad or something. Because he said
Daryl's got a real
Daryl's jealous.
View. Yeah.
Daryl's fucking jealous is what that is. Wow. That is fucking wild. His agent, though, Dale's agent, David Falk, has got the same agent as Jordan.
Really? Yeah.
He predicted that the car crash throws a damper on his endorsement possibilities that were already limited because of his past troubles anyway. He said you can't just snap your fingers and make that go away. So, yeah. Man, that is... Daryl, I'm disappointed, and Daryl's fucking sitting there just stewing about him. He'll fucking get that. He'll probably come out on top for that fucking asshole.
Go to rehab, get a Samsonite ad that the Samsonite briefcase can hold up to Dale Ellis' driving.
Dale Ellis' crashes. He said, I don't think he'll ever do it again, Vivian, his brother says, because he's got a mind of what can happen. He never thought it'd be like this. I know he didn't. So, yeah, that is... He's had some problems, obviously, here. March 8th, 1990, Ellis apologizes about his accident. He just apologized.
To who? Because I didn't hear it.
To the team.
I didn't know.
To the team. That's who he apologized to. Yeah, he said, I know a lot of people have been bothered by me not talking about it, the accident meaning. I want to apologize to all the fans and everyone else for the problems I've caused the team. I realize I have a responsibility not only to my family, but to my teammates, the Sonics, and the fans in the community. And Bickerstaff, hair getting more silver by the second, said, we're 100% behind Dale Ellis. I've conveyed to Dale Ellis how I feel. I think he's ready to play now. He's been working with us. Everything's going to be great. So he's all good here. Okay, now, April 30th, 1990, Ellis's attorney will seek to move his trial outside of King County.
Really?
So it's a DUI trial, and they're trying to get it moved like
away
it's
from Seattle,
like it's the OJ trial. Like, can we get it to? It's fucking ridiculous. So April 19th, 1990. Here, now people are saying everyone's been too hard on Dale Ellis. There's all these editorials and people who write letters to the paper going, "You leave Dale alone."
He crossed every lane, man.
So I don't care. He had a couple of drinks. He smacked his wife around. None of this matters. Yeah. Here is an editorial here. Quote, there have been many articles on Dale Ellis in this newspaper. Many have been written by the same sports writer. They have been very negative and hurtful to Dale, his family, and to people who personally know and work with him. Some of the material read by your readers would lead them to believe Dale Ellis was a very irresponsible, selfish person. Yeah.
Based on information, yeah.
That Dale Ellis had many personal problems and was a heavy-duty partier. Well, considering all of his traffic violations are at 2 in the fucking morning, I'm going to say, yeah, probably.
He crossed the freeway, man.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Never.
Yeah. Statements have been written that are misleading and altogether not true. We know Monique and Dale through running our basketball camp. This will be our 4th year working with this couple. They are a wonderful couple and nice individuals. Dale is a private, intelligent, polite person. He enjoys working with his 500 campers. The kids love him, and he takes the time to work and talk with them. He's a superb basketball player and an exceptional example to learn from. Really?
All of that except for the last part. And all of that can be true, as well as hit a guardrail and crossed the fucking freeway.
He's all good until midnight hits. Between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m., he's an asshole. So that's what he's got to work on. He's great 20 hours a day.
The drinking time.
Drinking times. So we just wanted to let your readers know that Dale Ellis is not only a Seattle Supersonic basketball player, but also, more importantly, a very kind and nice human being. From Terry and Donna Robinson.
Oh, they signed it.
Yeah, there you go. He, by the way, April 21st, 1990, he set the single-game record at the time in the NBA with 9 three-pointers in a game.
Yeah, and that was going to be
Del
broken.
Curry broke it later.
Yeah. Rex Chapman broke it. I think that was just the playoffs, though.
Yeah, that might have been playoffs.
Yeah.
And afterwards, when he was coming off the court, a fan shouted, "Now you can buy a new Mercedes, Dale."
Oh.
He makes $1.5 million that year.
Yeah.
September 25th, 1990, his trial begins. A jury of 3 men and 3 women has been impaneled for his trial on drunken and reckless driving charges. And so now we got that's wild, an impaneled jury.
Went to trial for DUI before I'd even heard of him.
That is fucking crazy. He testifies at his own trial, saying he was driving too fast before he crashed his car, but no, of course he wasn't intoxicated. That's ridiculous. He said he became confused when he had to decide between going north or south on the I-5, even though he's lived here for years.
Yeah.
He became confused. Phoenix, there's a lot of those, east, west, north, south. I'm never confused when I know exactly where I'm going. West is west, that way. Okay, great.
I mean, there's an exit for a freeway from a freeway, and there's two lanes, but one lane says north, one lane says south. It's very obvious.
You see it. And you know where whether you're going north or south usually, whether you want to go north or south. So September 29th, 1990, 3-man, 3-woman jury here. They deliberate for more than 10 hours over 2 days.
Holy shit.
Which seems like more than is necessary for this type of thing. And they reach a unanimous verdict. He is found guilty of drunken driving and reckless driving, both counts.
Wow.
Sentencing will be in 6 weeks. He denied he was drunk. They thought he was.
Okay.
They decided he was. So he also refused to take a breath test at the scene. Refused to take a blood alcohol test at the Harborview Medical Center where he was being treated too. So
you don't get to claim that you're not. We've all decided that those scientific ways of determining it are accurate.
That's a problem. Yeah, you want to prove it, prove it. So that is not good here. Anyway, the maximum penalty for the one is 90 days driver's license suspended. The maximum for reckless driving is 90 days in jail. And it's a year in jail also for the drunken driving, 90 days in jail and all that shit. So 90-91, he's with Seattle for part of the year here, and they're going to end up getting rid of him here. But October 5th, 1990 is his sentencing. He receives, here it comes. By the way, the coach said this is going to be an adjustment for him. He's been through a great deal from the accident, then through the court and the media blitz. It's a difficult thing to get through. I'm proud of the way he's hung with it. It just gives me more respect for him. Okay. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 1 day in jail.
What?
1 day in jail at community service. And he has to go to driving school, which that should have been 6 days a week of driving school, number one.
He should have at least a semester of that to go.
He's got to pass finals. He needs a lot going on here.
He got a day in jail. He crossed the whole fucking freeway.
He has to appear before a panel of drunk driving victims and their families also.
Ooh, that's not easy.
He's got to do, he's been through such a great deal. What a great deal he's been through. Oh, my goodness. Even, who is this? The prosecutor said that he has a terrible driving record, including 10 offenses in a 2-year period. Jesus Christ, please. Good Lord. And then his lawyer said he has some bad driving habits. There's no question about that, but he's improved. They were like 1 day in jail. Yeah. So that is fucking funny. He already had his driver's license lost for a year for refusing the breath test, and now he's going to get it.
All that money to go to trial to give a man 1 day. That's what a crazy waste.
And then October 26th, he fails to show up. Yeah. He failed to report for his scheduled day
1 day
in jail.
You're calling for 24 hours, man.
Idiot.
And it's probably work for a low.
Yeah, well, they said he got home at 3 a.m. after a Supersonics exhibition game against Chicago and Vancouver. They didn't get home till late, and so,
a game that didn't matter?
Yeah, he said he thought he should not report with only a few hours sleep because he's also supposed to do classes on alcoholism and drunk driving, and, he wasn't going to be awake for them. So, they said, we'll just reschedule him. This isn't a fucking hair appointment. It's your day in jail. Halloween, he finally goes to jail. He'll serve his time at the North End Rehabilitation Facility, they said. His fucking day in jail.
A rehab center.
And then he gets out and he's fine. Everything's fine. Doing well, walking around, fucking.
No children, huh?
Nope. 2. Well, he's got one, Ashley, the daughter.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He at least doesn't have a dozen like Travis Henry.
Right, Jesus.
It's the middle of the night. No car now, though. Middle of the night, he's walking around in a drunken haze, and what's he going to do? He does smell something cooking that smells pretty good, though. He smells something. He's hungry. A night of drinking will make you hungry. You know that 2 a.m. hunger?
Oh, God. I need something to soak it up. Yeah.
It's deep. You know what's good for that?
Meat.
It's shawarma, Jimmy. That's what's good for that. And lucky for Dale, he finds the shawarma man, and he says, How is it you've come to arrive here? Why are you here? No, seriously, I ask, how you come here? You didn't drive, do you? Because you're not supposed... He's not supposed to drive. Check outside for Mercedes with big dent inside. Because that would be his, probably, I would say. And liquor spill in driver's seat. You can't stay here. You're too drunk. You go. Sign say closed. You go. I no make for you. Throw up on my floor again. No. We do this last time. You throw up on floor. Remember? No, you go. You go and don't take his keys. Hey, take his keys from him. I don't know. And poof, in a cloud of shawarma and spits, he's gone. And Dale is very confused of what just happened to him.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not driving, though, so that's good. So that year he averages way less. He averages 16.8 points a game, and he is traded from the Sonics to the Bucks for Ricky Pierce, who was a really good player at one point.
Yeah.
90-91 Bucks, he ends up there with Del Harris as the coach, the future Laker coach, the white-haired guy.
Yeah.
Dale Harris, yeah. And,
Del
Harris. Yeah,
Del Harris, D-E-L-L.
Yeah, D-E-L, 1L. Yeah.
Yep.
He makes $1,250,000 this year. Okay. Not too shabby.
It's 1L?
1L. Dell with 1L.
Like of Harris? Like Spanish?
Taco. Like taco.
Yeah.
Like Del Taco.
Wow.
The Bucks are 51-31, or 31-51, I'm sorry, in 91-92. That's a big difference, by the way. Alvin Robertson on that team, another alum here. Very nice. Brad Lohas, I remember him from NBA Jam.
Yeah.
He was the white guy that the Bucks had on NBA Jam who was terrible. We called him Blowhoss, because it was B. Lohas. You're just asking for it. This year, 15.7 points per game. Okay. So 2 years ago, he was averaging over 20, and now he is 15.7.
Right.
He's going to be traded to the Spurs for Tracy Murray, who I believe was a UCLA guy.
Tracy Murray was a good player.
Spurs are 49-33 this year,
okay,
which they had 3 coaches this year. 1 game with Rex Hughes, a bunch with John Lucas, and then Jerry Tarkanian 9-11, the UNLV coach. Yeah, forgot it that he was there for a second. They go to the playoffs, beat the Blazers, and then lose to the Suns. This is the 92-93. So they lose to the Suns. January 31st, 1993, he gets a ticket again, disregarding a stop sign.
In San Antonio?
San Antonio. Yeah, he's going to move it all down there now and get these things.
He's Texas's problem now.
Yep, that's it. We're done with him. 16.7 points he averages that season. So, again, he goes from 25 to fucking 16, which is not wonderful. Makes $1 million that year for the Spurs. Okay. Next year, Spurs are 55-27, but they lose to the Jazz in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah. That was their thing for a while. That was when they had Dennis Rodman, David Robinson, Dale, Willie Anderson will have his own episode someday.
Avery Johnson.
Vinny Del Harris Negro.
Yeah. Vinny Del, I'm not saying it.
Sleepy Floyd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Antoine Carr on that team, so he's back now. J.R. Reed on that team.
Yeah.
15.2 points a game for Dale.
Avery Johnson was not there yet, huh?
No, he's not there yet. He comes later on. Yeah, he was Dallas for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember from video games, he was always Derek Harper on Dallas always too. Okay. So 93-94, 10.5 points a game. He's down to.
It is getting worse.
He's also busted for speeding in San Antonio again in 1994. 94, he signs as a free agent with the Nuggets.
Yep.
They go 41-41 that year. Again, 3 coaches that year.
Really?
He goes to these teams that are just in flux. Dan Issel, who was a great player back in the day, Gene Littles, and Bernie Bickerstaff is here now from Seattle.
Bernie came down here?
Yep, this is Mutombo and Stith and Abdul Rauf once he changed his name, Robert Pack, Rodney Rogers, Jalen Rose, Bison Dele. They had a lot of Greg Grant, LaFonso Ellis. Yeah. There's some decent players in that mix there.
Good team, yeah. That was
not too shabby. He scores 12 points a season, or a game this year.
Mahmoud was he was Mark Macon first, right?
No, he was Chris
Jackson.
Chris Jackson. I couldn't remember Jackson or Johnson. Chris Jackson. Yeah, he was a fucking good player.
Great guard.
Underrated because of all of his weird tics too. Because he had OCD. Remember, he'd have all his weird tics that he did. So that overshadowed. Between that and the name change, it overshadowed what an actually dangerous motherfucker he was on the court. He was good. Denver that year, 95-96, 35-47.
Ouch.
Yeah, not in the playoffs. Not good. Dale averages 14.9 a game, though. A little renaissance for Dale.
And they better fucking hurry because Mutombo's about to leave for Atlanta.
He's about to go. 96-97. They are 21-61.
Oh, he's
Yikes.
gone, isn't he?
That is fucking ugly. Yeah, they have Antonio McDyess now as a rookie. He was good too.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, he's gone now. Mutombo, he took off on him. He's like, I can't do this anymore with you fucking losers.
41-41 is no good.
This is a mess. Dale averages 16.6 a game. So that's the best year he's had since 92-93.
Yeah.
After the season, right before the 97-98 season, he's traded by Denver back to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So he ends up back on Seattle, who by now is 61-21 this season. They're nasty now.
Yeah.
George Karl, these are the Sonics
aggressive
that we remember.
Team, yeah.
Yeah, and they beat the Timberwolves in the playoffs and then lose to the Lakers.
Yeah,
in the playoffs there. These are the Shaq and rookie Kobe Lakers there. This is Gary Payton, Vin Baker, Detlef Schrempf, Hershey Hawkins, Sam Perkins, Jerome Kersey, Jim McIlvaine, Nate McMillan, Greg Anthony. These are the ones you remember. David Wingate will have his own episode.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys there. So he averages 11.8 points a game, but he's third in the sixth man of the year voting.
Really?
He's a sixth man now, not even a starter anymore, but that's very valuable, a sixth man.
Is, yeah. A guy that can come off the bench and drill threes is mad important at this time. Yeah.
Huge, especially in a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
$1.92 million he makes this year, too.
Yeah.
He only averages in 97-98 5.6 points a game in the regular season here.
That's all right. That's what Robert Horry did, too.
Yeah. That's what Robert Horry did, too. So 98-99, Paul Westphal coaching the Sonics. I forgot he went there.
Wow.
That's just weird. That's the strike-shortened year.
Mm-hmm.
They're 25-25. Dale averages 10.3 a game that year.
Uh-huh.
He makes $1.75 million, though. June 30th, 1999, he's traded by the Sonics with Don McLean and his American Pie.
Yeah, right down to Charlotte, huh?
Corey Maggette, Billy Owens. So that's a big group there.
Sure is.
To Orlando for Horace Grant and a draft pick. So
wow, Horace Grant went up to Seattle?
Yes. Remember that at first he went there? Yep. After he was then that was June 30th, 1999. Then August 19th, 1999, he's traded by Orlando.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't even have a chance. He didn't even move there.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a chance to get a DUI there or anything, a speeding ticket, nothing.
Casey Anthony lasted longer there.
Oh, shit. She didn't even go there. They're traded with Danny Manning, by the way, who is getting up in years, to the Bucks for Chris Gatling and Armin Gilliam.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know of any of this shit. So he starts the year out on the Bucks. We won't talk too much about it because halfway through the year, January 18th, he's traded by the Bucks to the Charlotte Hornets for a draft pick.
Just for a pick?
For 2 picks, a second-round 2000 pick and a 2002 second-round pick. Okay. So 2 second-round picks.
Yikes.
With which they got Jason Hart and Chris Owens. There you go.
They did terrific with that.
Wow. 99-2000 Charlotte here. They are 49-33 and lose to the Sixers in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
That was the year I think the Sixers went to the finals and got stomped because they were just Iverson and nobody else, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. This team, Eddie Jones on that team, Eldon Campbell, Derek Coleman.
Is that Popeye Jones, Eddie Jones?
No, Eddie Jones, who was on Miami for a while.
Oh, who was
Eddie Jones
was that his real name?
Totally different. I don't think so. I don't think so. He played for Dallas a lot. I think Popeye Jones.
Yeah.
Eddie Jones was a really fucking good player. He was a nice player, good defender. Yeah, he's one of those guys that you forget about, but if you look up his stats, you go, "Holy shit, that guy's pretty fucking good."
Yeah.
This year, he averaged 20.1 points a game
for Charlotte, huh?
Yeah, 20.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.2 assists. Eddie Jones did, not Dale Ellis.
Yeah. And he's got to be one of the better players on the team that year in 2000.
Who, Eddie Jones?
Yeah.
He's the top scorer by far.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the man that year. Yeah.
Wow.
He's their star.
That's depressing.
Dale that year averages with both teams 4.2 points a game that year. It's over for Dale.
Jesus.
He does make $2,095,250 that year. He's going to finish his career with 15.7 points per game.
How much money did he make? Not a lot.
No.
For a guy that played in that era of big money time?
$20,272,750. He really got
minus all the shit. Like he didn't make shit.
He didn't make shit. He's got nothing left from that, I'm sure.
I'm sure
August
of it.
1st, 2000, he's traded by the Hornets with Ricky Davis, Eddie Jones, and Anthony Mason to the Heat. Wow. That's where I remember Eddie Jones on the Heat mainly. For P.J. Brown, Rodney Buford, Tim James, Jamal Mashburn, and Otis Thorpe.
Oh,
Jesus.
No.
This is just trade one 90s team for another and just and then he's waived by the Heat on October 30th. So that's that. And he's done. So that is 2000, 2001. January 18th, 2002, he is sought by police after his wife reports another assault.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, he allegedly hit his wife during an argument this morning around 7:45 a.m.
Yeah.
It's too early for that shit, right?
Bright and early? Come on.
You got to be up still or some shit because that's too early. I'm like, if anyone's trying to argue with me at 7:45, I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
The argument we're having is I'm going to sleep. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. That's the only thing we're doing.
I'll go sit in the bathroom to get away from you at 7:45 a.m.
I'll sleep outside. I don't care.
I guess she called 911 to report the assault in progress. And, they treated her for injuries to her face and hands. Dale was gone by then. Police searched for him all day, and as of last night, they didn't know where he was still. They do know there was no weapons involved, and the wife did not have to go to a hospital for medical attention. They treated her at the scene, minor cuts and scrapes or whatever. So there's that. He's been, obviously, they talk about all his other problems, and there's been a domestic violence thing with him before.
Yeah.
They said a summons will be issued to him. They said a summons is equivalent to an arrest. If we're able to locate him, he would have been arrested and booked into jail, and he'd have to make a court appearance. Under the new rule, which became effective September 1st, domestic violence suspects can no longer post bail until they're arraigned. We have no idea where he is, but there's nothing to indicate he's a flight risk. He's a known suspect. He's not a threat to the community.
Okay.
Unless he's in a car.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Seattle's freeways are a mess still.
No shit. They're just going around looking for anyone driving badly, and they're like, "You roll it, Dale Ellis? No, fuck, little white lady. Okay, never mind. Roll it up. We thought you were Dale Ellis.
Go on your way, ma'am.
Just looking
Nice
for
car.
poor. Yeah, nice car you got there. Just looking for poor drivers. So I mean, they can't find him. It's hard to find him. He's a big mystery, and I feel bad for anyone who's had to deal with his driving and his wife, but not nearly as bad as I feel. For Dale Ellis, director at Heating and Ventilation in the UK. It's a company, Heating and Ventilation UK. Dale Ellis, superintendent at Montgomery County Schools in Montgomery County, North Carolina. Dale Ellis, applications engineer at KT Hydraulics. Okay. What? Dale Ellis, federal court reporter at the Arkansas Democrat Gazette as well. He'll be reporting on all of his arrests, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And finally, Dale Ellis, general manager of Australian Sports Nutrition in Queensland. So he's involved in sports. January 19th, 2002, he is arrested here for the assault. They said we have probable cause to believe he assaulted her. And there it goes. When the police, he had been gone when they got there, obviously. Yeah. They said, we looked at every place he likely would have been and didn't locate him.
Bars
and 7:30 a.m. fucking jails. And March 28th, 2002, I guess they had arrested him. A judge gives him a suspended 1-year jail sentence contingent on him having no new offenses and meeting other sentence conditions. He'll be on probation for 24 months and is ordered to not contact his wife. He's also suspended all but $200 of the $5,000 fine also they did for him. That's awfully nice of them. He's ordered to go to a domestic violence class, undergo evaluation, and complete 10 hours of community service a month for 1 year. So 120 hours of community service.
Everything's suspended pending don't fuck up over the next 24.
Yeah.
2 years, James. He's got to keep it between the lines.
Got to keep it. The judge said this, and this is what he needs to hear. Her order that Dale Ellis, quote, get involved in some useful activity for a change. Ever since he stopped playing basketball, he has no
figure it out, man.
Nothing. His lawyer apologized for him in court and said he knows what he did was wrong and said that he knows he should be held accountable. So he's got to go to the programs. He's got to do all of that shit. he pled guilty to this eventually, and that's what happens. So he had faced a year in jail and a $5,000 fine and got ugats out of it. So he is lucky, I'll tell you what.
No kidding.
Dale Ellis, he has really skated by somehow, and I haven't found there's no other arrests for him in the last 20 years or so. He's clean.
Wow.
Maybe he got involved in something fucking
Maybe that judge told him what he needed to hear. Yeah.
Nowadays, if you're looking for him, doesn't he? He's kind of, who does he look like?
Oh my God, who does he look like?
Like a little bit of like, he looks like, okay, Samuel Jackson looks different as an old man than he did when he was younger. This guy looks like an old man version of Sam Jackson made younger, not the old, young Sam Jackson. Either that or he looks a little bit like Mariano Rivera.
And he's gotten a tan. What
great.
happened there?
He looks great. He's got a good head shape for bald and shiny. He's doing terrific.
Looks like he's living in South Florida, like having a great time. I like that he has every fucking team he ever played for as his background picture.
As his background, all of them. That's fucking funny on his LinkedIn. This is his
Very
LinkedIn.
funny.
He is president of the NBRPA Atlanta chapter, shooting skills trainer, and so some national basketball shit. I don't know. He's close enough to the NBA to have them scrub his fucking records.
Yeah.
He says, this is his profile, as a professional basketball player in the NBA for 17 years, I've been lucky enough to live out some of my wildest dreams, like crashing cars in the middle of the night.
My wife has no idea about most of them.
None. Don't tell her. Shh. I am using the skills I've acquired along the way to help others fill their potential, to reach their full potential. I have a lifetime of experience striving for excellence, which has taught me leadership, teamwork, and how to communicate with others effectively. One of the things that brings me the greatest joy is giving back to my hometown community in Marietta, Georgia. As a kid growing up, I had role models who showed me the way and gave me the guidance I needed to succeed. Okay. Another way I'm giving back is by working with kids who have a passion for basketball. I know firsthand how much dedication it takes to excel in this sport, blah, blah, blah. Also focused on training my own son.
Really?
He's got a son. I want to pass on everything I've learned.
Is Ashley a son?
No, Ashley was his daughter. His son's name is Isabel. Get it right.
It's Bernice.
It's Bernice.
My son Bernice is doing terrific.
You're getting a girl's name too, motherfucker. I had to live with it. Ask your Uncle Vivian what that shit's all about. Punk bitch, it makes you tougher. He said, I also incorporate mental exercise to help players develop the confidence and focus they need. He is the president of the Atlanta chapter of the NBRPA. I am passionate about working with my fellow athletes in the second lives and fundraising causes that we care about. Though the chapter, we work tirelessly to raise money through the chapter for organizations that support education, youth development, community outreach. He's working with kids. That's what he's got going on. Can't get enough of Dale. Here is it's on sportsmemorabilia.com, a Dale Ellis autographed 8x10 picture of him on the Spurs taking a jump shot, $33.99.
I know that picture. I know exactly what it is. Yep, there it is.
The one, see his lips? That's what I mean.
That was a card.
Yeah, I know exactly that card. Yeah, that's the shit with Clyde Drexler looking back. That's why I remember it so much.
And he's number 3 because that's the shot he shot, babe.
That's the shot. I don't even remember the card because of him. I remember it because Drexler's in it, and he's looking back like he gonna hit that shit or what?
Stadium Club? It might be a Stadium Club. Wait, was Top Stadium Club? Yeah, Upper Deck Upper Deck Stadium Club? I don't know.
It'd be 93, 94.
It was one of the nice cards.
Anyway, that's Dale Ellis, everybody. Had no idea, right?
What a piece of shit.
Fucking mess.
Who knew?
You asshole. But he seems like he's been cleaned up the last 20 years. I hope he didn't name his kid Dale Monique Jr. That's all I can hope. Monique. Bye, Monique. At the end of that, you have to make sure to say bye to Monique at the end. If you like that episode, you should tell everyone that you fucking know about it. Jesus Christ, what are you doing here? We need your help spreading the show as always. We've always needed your help, and we still need your help. So please do that.
The work's not done.
It's not. We're trying to seed the fields here. Let's seed them with us. I'll grab a handful and fucking spread it, will you? So drop them and spread them. God damn it, we're getting the word out. So do that.
We're talking about the seeds.
We got seeds. Review on whatever app you listen on. That also helps a lot. Helps drive you up the charts. You definitely want to follow us on social media. We're at Crime and Sports on whatever fucking thing you can find us on. We're on all of them there, so do that. You definitely, certainly want Patreon. Yeah. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all of the bonus material.
Yep.
Anybody, $5 a month, you get all sorts of shit, including hundreds of back episodes that you'll immediately have access to of bonus stuff that you've never heard before. New episodes every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. And how much of that do they get, Jimmy?
You get it all.
Every fucking drop of it. This week is no different. What we're going to do this week for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the OJ trial, okay? Just the trial. Just the trial. Not all the stuff that went around the trial. None of that shit. In the courtroom, what in the motherfuck happened to make 12 people say not guilty when there's DNA evidence? And, it's pretty obvious that he's guilty. What is the deal? I've watched the entire OJ trial. I have suffered for you 495 parts on YouTube of the OJ trial. And I will tell you exactly what happened because it's pretty easy to explain, honestly, if you look at it. It's incompetence would be the number one flashing light, huge, bold letter word. Incompetence. Fucking dumb as shit. So we'll talk about that. Then for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about something very interesting. Everybody's kind of heard this story, but we're going to go inside Ed Gein's house and talk about what's in there. Oh, his house and his shed we got to get to. And what's a day in the life of Ed Gein like? What does he do when he gets home? What's his house?
What's he do when he wakes up? Yeah.
Wow. It is. Everything he does is gross. Even the non-murdery shit is gross. Just him cooking dinner is disgusting to hear about. Okay. You don't even want to know about it. So even shit that didn't have people in it, which he didn't eat anybody, he said.
Great.
So there you go. We'll talk about that. Patreon.com/Crime in Sports. And you get a shout out here in a minute. You also want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com and get all of your everything. Merchandise is there. And in addition to that, there's tickets to live shows. Small Town Murder will be in Durham, May 31st. Get your fucking tickets right now. It is a party. Cool. We can't wait to have fun. Next night in Nashville sold out. So that's the only time you can see us until like September when we're back on the road. So you want to see us this summer or anytime soon, that's the time to do it. Get in there. That said, Jimmy, hit me with the names of the most wonderful goddamn people in the world who would never, ever, ever name their male son Monique. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producer, Jordan Bennett, and Erica Norris, who is a rock star. Congratulations, Erica. Hang in there. You're doing great.
Thank you so much.
Other producers awesome this week, James, are Peyton Meadows, John DeLong, Andrew Snow, Janice Hill, Kim W., Anthony Reddick, Ann Somerville, Kayla with no last name, Angela Anderson, Dave Barstow, Kristen with no last name, Brax with no last name, Allison Barnhill, Audrey Birch, Kick with no last name, Craig Jex, Alexis M., Sheila Croucher, Landon with no last name, Adarius King Senior, JV, Zoe Cowan, Crystal Tyler, Allison Prince, Brandon LeClaire, Anna Maria, Popsaskew, Carla with no last name, Ben Stainbrook, Sharon Motti, Sabrina Ligon, Amber Henke, Scott Anderson, Jennifer Hobson, Man Bear Pug. Oh, it's Man Bear Pug 26. What's a Man Bear Pig? What is that?
I don't know. Just all
it's
things
from
they
something.
like. Man Bear and oh yeah,
Men, Bears, and Pigs.
Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig is
Small
something.
Town Murder thing. I think.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Scott Niedermeyer, Laura Crowell, Sam Rodman, Rebecca with no last name, Ashley with no last name, Amanda Land, Drew Bittner, Lynn Little, Heather Roach, Mackenzie Ranslow. Me too. Marissa Yates, Zach Delaney, Zoe Doring, Gus Erickson, Sarah Warbus, Samantha DeJesus, Karen with no last name, Sea Dragons, Jimmy Roach, Victoria Thompson, Jim Landrum, Patty with no last name, Jado Hughes, Lee Macklin, We in the Spirit World, asshole. I don't know what that means, but we are there.
We there.
We are. Carl Zufosky, Ian Pappy maybe, Catherine Forrester, Priest Corinne, Priest maybe, I don't know, Lee Boyd, Natalie Yulvin, oh, she's fantastic, Angela Goober, Joel Assigner, Owen Eads, Kara with no last name, Alinda Renninger, Dawn the Mail Lady, Walter, hello Dawn, Kevin Royce, and Anya Zawadska. Anya Zawadska. All right, Nicole Simon, Andy Snow, Jill Chipman, Chipman, Tiffany Wilson, Tyler McMillan, Christopher, nope, that's Crystal, Srigovitz, Matt Hine, Amy Marie Reeves, Kyle Patterson, Melissa Watson, Kelsey Clark, Kitty Garza, Sean Moton, Kat Young, Nikita, Elizabeth, Autumn with no last name, Deborah Rapazzi, Justin Ben Scoter, Taryn Morgan, Michelle Zaharias, David Dugan, Griggy, 409, Joe Chowcraft, Christopher Perry, Lisa Rondi maybe, Hillbilly Deluxe. That's a great song. Yeah. Little Drop Kick, Jeremy Kiope, Cope, Chris Cole, Kevin Pruitt, Heidi Cayute, Galletta, Nicole La Riviera, La Rividerci, Sam Young, CM, Ethan, the letters C and M, Ethan Neal Whitney with no last name, Carmel Drizzle, Sarah Gregory, Michelle Conaboy, Brittany Ryan, Robert Costa, McKenna Mathis, Sabrina Argila, Morgan Snyder, Shanna Carter, Diane Clifton, Matthew Harvey, Shannon Brandt, A. Williams, Gail with no last name, Oma Julie, D and B, Lisa Gregg, Xavier with no last name, Chris Voorhees, Finn High, Jason Reagan, Terry Harden, Jonathan Chatfield, Rachel Caputo, Kevin McCormick, Michelle Strozzi, do you? Is that right?
Absolutely.
Abigail Crittenden, Carrie Atkins, Gayla Wynn Moreau, Jaskarit Bahura.
Not that one, no. No one in my family with that last name.
Bahura? No. Bora?
Caputo, yes, that no.
I got a cousin named Jaskarit. I mean,
the whole last name.
The runes picked the letters. Jessica Wright, Lloyd Dobler maybe, Jake Clark, Marilyn Lackey Wellman, Jorge P, Amy A. Bear, Dorian Mann, Lisa Quigley, Stinky Butt Contreras, Justin Elmore, Katie Van Zandt, Becky Remington, Catherine Stumberg, Laughhead, Jane with no last name, Kia with no last name, Riley Patterson, Lynn Pett, Terrence McCall, no, that's Terrence Carroll, Sweet Poop Tatoes, yuck, what the fuck, Joanna Manabat, Corey Helmericks, Emily Rang, Jason with no last name, Jane with no last name, Joshua Cross, Angie with no last name, Donna Fullerton, Tyler Schilling, Matt Dennis, Lauren with no last name, Rachel Carver, Emma Farwell, Jake Larson, Ben Smith, Jenna Hartwood, Jay Cass, Magnagaro. What is this? It's just a name, James. One word, Magnagaro. James with no last name, Misty Shook, Adam Booth, Cameron with no last name, Carolyn Fisher, Kate Trober, Anderson Edison, no, it's Andrew, Clara Schuler, Charles Castagna, Amanda B., Ruben Best, Justin Brockway, Alan Cruz, Elizabeth Knight, Angie Prestegard, yep, Maureen with no last name, Laura Hinchcliffe, Jenna Lynn, Lauren Hart, Milo Jones, Cody, and all of our patrons. Thank you. Oh, so much.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
You wonderful, magnificent bastards. Yeah. We appreciate all that you do for us. You did it again. You do it every week. Thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for having faith in us and doing all this shit and just listening to our bullshit. We appreciate it.
Right.
Keep listening to our bullshit. If you want to follow us on social media and see our personal bullshit, you can do that by going to shutupandgivememurder.com and going to the drop-down menu and finding the links to all that shit. So do that. Keep hanging out with us. Listen to Small Town Murder. Listen to Your Stupid Opinion. Hang out with us multiple times a week. You can keep doing it. Yeah. And until then, live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.